Megan Fox.
Yeah, Megan Fox has the story.
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox writes at PJ Media.
Hey.
Eat shit, Tucker.
And that was your last.
God damn it, Nick. I cried for 2 days.
Megan, thank you very much for that.
Oh, I can explain the bed thing. A nest in one of my penthouses, and I had to pry a steak. It's like Jesus going into the temple. He's like, I got a whip! Get out! Get out!
I would have thrown them all off the balcony.
Megan Fox.
She's the devil. And honestly, Megan, if you don't like it, I'm sorry.
There's something about the way that you say my name. Make me forget everything when you call
Megan.
Megan Fox.
I've been very nice to you, although I could probably maybe not be based on the way you have treated me, but I wouldn't do that.
You've never met a bitch like me. You want to tangle? You want to go? Holy shit. Holy shit.
Too much cussing on this. I guess we didn't bleep it, so we got to turn it off. But we
have very serious conversations. Sometimes they're a little bit lighter. Sometimes there's the perfect blend of both. The perfect blend of both. And when you want to have the perfect blend of both, you need to have great guests like Megan Fox here.
Hi, Joe. Hi, chat.
Not for publication. Megan Fox.
Yeah, Megan Fox has the story.
I'm Megan.
Megan
Fox.
Thank
you. Cheers.
Well, look, bitch, you're not serious either. You didn't even do the paperwork in time.
Oh my God. What is happening? I am so out of it. Oh my God. You guys, hold on. I still don't have the lights on. Oh, all right. Hold on. Good morning. Good morning. I am so late. What is happening here? Okay. Here's the thing. I don't even have any makeup on. Oh my God. This is terrible. Hold on. I was running in circles trying to get here. So I was at the chiropractor this morning because I have a very bad neck problem that is just terrible. And I have been trying to get some relief. And why does the Wi-Fi say it's so low? Can you guys hear me okay? I don't know why it's not coming through well, but it says that the Wi-Fi is very low, which is weird because my Wi-Fi is fine. So hold on a second. Let me see. Are you guys hearing okay? Good on your end? Okay, I guess I'll just ignore it. All right. Well, since I didn't get to put my makeup on before I got on here, I didn't even put my contacts in. Jeez. I'm just going to have to do my makeup on the stream because this is just, I don't usually put my makeup on to go to the chiropractor because, you got to be face down on that thing. And there's like paper everywhere. So we're just going to do this on stream because I guess it's better if I'm here and doing this with you than not at all. What do you think of my new background? Does everybody like it? So we've been testing out, thanks to Meredith, by the way. Meredith has been helping me out with some new merch designs and all kinds of things. Let's get some cheekbones here because I really have a problem with cheekbones. I don't have them, so I got to add them in. These are the tricks, folks. These are These are the tricks that the ladies use in order to, convince you that we're better looking than we are. It usually works. Of course, without my contacts in, I can't see what I'm doing. So hopefully, just through sheer memory, I'll do this correctly. Let's see. I've got some cream blush in here. Where the hell did it go? So, this is fun. Isn't this fun? Did one of my kids take my blush for real? Did they? Because that's how it's looking. It's looking like one of them. Nope. Here it is. I found it. All right. So, a little bit of this here so I don't look like I'm dead. Then I need a blender brush, which is in here somewhere. Here we go. All right. So I didn't have time because I had to go to the chiropractor. And what does that say? Oh, good. A makeup tutorial. The brands, I don't know what brands I'm using. And they don't pay me. So why would I mention them? This bronzer is pretty good though. It's Fenty Beauty. This is a good bronzer. I didn't actually use that today, but I do use it usually. Okay, the lipsticks though I will talk about. This is Color Stay Matte Light Crayon by Revlon. I think it's Revlon. Is this Revlon? Yeah. And these things are great. Really good. I think I need my glasses. I can't see. Cannot see. So I didn't have time to do this because I had to go to the chiropractor and get an adjustment. My neck has been so out of whack. I haven't been able to put my chin down to my chest without major pain. And then my gloss goes on to now this is like some kind of weird Beyonce crap, I think. My daughters bought it for me for Christmas, and I really like it. It's called this is Fenty as well. Fenty Beauty. Is that Beyonce's brand? Is that I seem to remember my children telling me there was some kind of Beyonce component to it. All right, I feel a little better. I got my hair done too. Can you tell? So I got those highlights put in. I got my blondie back. I got the blonde back. All right. Now we can start the show. Good morning. Good morning. I don't look all that different. But all right. So that's why I was so stinking running today. I was just running because the only time that my chiropractor could see me was at 10:15, which is a problem when my show starts at 11 because I got to drive there but I had to do it. So I was like, I'm going to be late. Oh, well, I'm going to be late. So there's new merch coming, by the way. There's new merch. If you can see this little right there, do you see the new logo? Isn't that fun? Meredith made that for me, and there will be new merch that has that logo on it, and a lot of other stuff that Meredith is working on. And Meredith is so wonderful. She's a graphic designer who's in Florida who has just volunteered to do some of this cool stuff for me, and in exchange for a couple of my books. I mean, how wonderful is that? And by the way, those books have still not come. They're still not here. They're still not here. I have ordered 2 sets of books of 10 of each of my books, and Kindle or Amazon KDP lost them. And I don't want to order them again because I want them to find the shipment. It's just craziness, just absolute craziness. So if my background if I start freezing though, because I have a feeling this is going to start freezing the second I share my screen. So I'm going to try it so that we can get to the topics of the day. There's a lot to talk about. But if my camera starts freezing, I will end up just taking the green screen down. All right, so hold on one second. Let's share this. Later in the program today, we will be talking to Shawn McMillan. I can't wait for that because Shawn McMillan is one of my favorite superhero attorneys. He is just incredible. He fights CPS. on behalf of parents who got their constitutional rights violated, and he will be here talking to us about that. And I can't wait. Oh, you know what else I don't have? I didn't even put a notice on Locals or start a live chat. I didn't do anything this morning. I'm so sorry, you guys. What a disaster. And I don't even have Rumble open either. What a disaster. I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready. I'm just not ready. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. Hold on. I'm opening up Rumble to see who all is on there. I didn't send Rumble my stream either. So, I'm all at 6s and 7s. I don't even know what that means, but I think that's correct. Well, there are 40 of you on Rumble. Good morning, Rumble. And we are also live on YouTube, which I don't have the studio open as either. I got nothing. You guys, I got nothing. Absolutely nothing. I've got a case of the Mondays. Yes. I've got a serious case of the Mondays. Man, this is so bad. This is terrible, terrible radio, terrible broadcasting. I mean, it doesn't get any worse than this. Does it? I don't know what I'm doing. I gotta go throw this out on Locals because you guys don't even have a live chat over there. And speaking of Locals, if you're not a member of my Locals channel, meganfox.locals.com, you really should be, because normally you would get all of the notifications for when I go live, just not today, because I am not prepared. It's kind of amazing that I even got the live stream up, because of my neck problem, I have been unable to sit up for very long without being in severe pain. So I've been laying down in my bed trying to do my work, and it's not good. Here's the good news. The good news is that today's visit to the chiropractor was very good. You know that thing they do when they have you cross your arms like this and then they kind of lay on top of you and jump on you a bit? That cracks like that upper middle of the back thing. Oh, it was like instant relief when he did that. I was just like, oh, I can put my head down. Look at this. I can move it around. I can actually stretch without, I still feel it a little bit, but not the kind of pain I was having. Whew, shout out to my chiropractor, Dr. Scott. You did it. And however long this lasts is good for me. It's good enough. We'll just put it that way. It's good enough for now. Because I have been in such serious pain that I can barely survive it. So, all right, I'm going to Locals right now. I'm going to drop the live stream so that you guys have it. All right, Leighton Gay. Here's the stream. And I will start a live chat as well. Let's see. Enable live chat, yes. Pin to newsfeed, yes. Notify users, yes. Holy shit! This is terrible. What the hell is wrong with me? Lots of things. So if you're not on my Locals, you really need to be, because Locals is great. And it's meganfox.locals.com. We did Freezer Meal Fridays, 2 Fridays ago? Friday before last, and it was so good. It was so much fun. We got 6, I actually got 7 or 8 meals in the freezer, which we had our angel chicken last night, and the kids rave about that. They love angel chicken so much, and all I did was throw it in the crock pot for a couple of hours, and it was done, and so easy. And it worked out perfectly, because I had had such terrible pain that who the hell wants to be standing over the stove when you can barely stand up for a while? So that worked out really good. I want to hear from you guys, those of you who did the cooking stream with me. How did it go for you? What did your family think? What did you think of the recipes? Have you eaten any of them yet? Let me know. I'm opening up let's see, I almost have Locals done. All right, now I am publishing the Locals. You guys will have a live chat now. Leighton Gay, here's the stream. Oh, I have news about chickens, my chickens. So I know you guys have probably heard me say I have not had great luck with eggs since the summertime. And one of you, I think it was Sharon Cabana, you're awesome. Sharon Cabana had put on my locals. I think it was Sharon. Was it Sharon? No, it wasn't Sharon. It was Sally. Sally Jones put a great video on my locals with this farmer guy talking about chickens and how he's like, okay, I didn't want to jump onto the conspiracy bandwagon because everybody's been talking about how backyard chicken owners are not getting any eggs. Now, I haven't gotten any eggs, not regularly, from my chickens since about August, which is really unusual. I mean, during the summer, they lay every day, 1 egg a day. Now, admittedly, I have a couple of older chickens who don't lay anymore, but I know that. My young ones, though, they lay like crazy. Well, not since August. I've gotten very few eggs from them. And as it got cold, now I'm getting 0. Now, it's perfectly normal to have like a where they don't lay as much in the winter, but it is not normal at all to have no eggs. And I'm seeing on Instagram and on all these different videos of backyard farmers saying, we're not getting any eggs. This is very strange. And they're starting to put it together with the feed, the chicken feed. There's something wrong with the chicken feed. It isn't about the daylight. It's not about any of that. Chickens will slow down in the winter, but they don't stop laying altogether. So, so they started one woman said she switched her chickens from the store-bought feed to the goat feed instead. So I decided to try it because I haven't had 1 egg in weeks. And I went and bought goat feed and I started feeding that to them, plus some more kitchen scraps, scraps from the kitchen. And I guess that was when I stabbed my thumb. So I've had a couple of days here. I went to open the goat feed with the knife that I keep in my pocket for this very thing. And I went to stab it and it slipped and it hit my thumb and it cut it right in the nut, like where the knuckle is. So every time I would bend my thumb, it would pop open and bleed all over the place. It was just awful. But Mr. Fox bandaged it properly after I did a bad job and we got it scabbed over now. So it's doing better. But anyway, I gave them goat feed. And in 4 days of them eating the goat feed, I now had 1 egg yesterday. And that's the first egg I've seen in months. So there might be something to this chicken conspiracy. So, let's take a look at the chicken conspiracy, though, because I thought you guys might be kind of interested in this. Thanks to Sally for putting this on my locals. And those of you, if you are in my locals, by the way, some of the benefits are you get to participate in the live chats. And in that chat, you can send memes. So much fun in there. You can send memes and I can see them right away, which is a lot of fun. And also we're doing so many cooking streams. We're doing movie streams. We're watching true crime together. And I just want to show you this one video. Hold on. Here it is. I want to show you this one video because this is totally my experience that is happening to me. So something is going on with the chicken feed. I'm telling you, it's happening. And I think, if I were to guess, I don't think it's being done purposefully. I think it's being done because of cost cutting. I think whatever they've done to the chicken feed, if they have cut down on the protein or whatever, they're doing it to save money. So let's watch this real quick because I want you to see what's been happening to me too, because the same thing has been happening to me. So let's back this up a bit.
One said,
in nearly 30-something years of raising chickens, I have never gone without eggs, not even just one. And since before Halloween, I have not gotten a single egg until about a week ago. And I switched the feed that I was giving. I no longer am feeding chicken feed. I have switched my girls to goat feed. Steel cut oats, black sunflower seeds, and goat feed. I have to say, there's something to this. I have to put my little tinfoil hat on. It's kind of weird.
Okay, now this is a little bit of a comment section, a comment board.
Okay, so this guy now is suggesting that you make your own chicken feed, and he's got a YouTube channel where they teach you how to do that. His channel is called, hold on, what is it called? Off Grid with Doug and Stacy. So if you want to check that out, do that. He's pretty interesting. But he also has he's also saying that, you know, when you mix your own chicken feed, that's probably the best way to do it. Well, I found a place not far away that actually supplies one of the local stores here with organic hand mixed chicken feed. So I'm going to try that next, because goat feed is extremely expensive. I'm telling you, it's bad, but something is going on. I'm telling you, it's true. There's something going on with the chicken feed, and the chicken's not laying eggs. Leah is backstage in the green room. She's showing me her 12 free range eggs. How much did you pay for that, Leah? For a dozen free range eggs? I bet you paid quite a bit for that. They are so expensive now. And some of you are saying, well, with the prices of eggs, you think it's intentional, that they're making it impossible for us to have our own eggs. But I think the simplest explanation is usually the right one. And the simplest explanation would be that they're trying to cut costs, and because of it, they've cut the nutrition. Leah says she thinks she paid $6 for those eggs. I would be surprised that you only paid $6 for free range organic eggs. Here, just the regular ones that come from the big farms is about, I think we're paying $5.99, almost $6 for a dozen, which would mean the organic ones would be more like $2 more, like $8. So crazy, just absolutely nuts. Anyway, it's so good to be back with you guys. It's good to be back here. And I think you like the new logo. Yeah, Meredith made that for me. One of our chatters and our listeners here is an awesome graphic designer. If any of you need graphic design work done, you let me know, because I'll put you in touch with Meredith. She's in Florida and she does great work, original artwork. Isn't that cool? She did that. And I'm thrilled with it. And she's making me some new merch too. So when that gets going, wait till you see the new merch. The new merch is really, really cute. We've got some for Fox's sake. We're going to have t-shirts and mugs and everything else. And I just realized that in my rush to come in here, I didn't even bring my coffee with me. So on the first break, I'm going to go and find my coffee and reload on the coffee. Leah, you were asking me, Leah Geo, she's in backstage. Thank God she's up at 2 a.m. in Australia. What a trooper she is, helping me produce the show and keep you guys entertained while I was late. Leah, you were asking me if I had new promos that were not uploaded. I didn't upload one of them because it's over 3 minutes long. And so I'll have to upload it on my end, just share a video, and I'll take care of that on the first break. On the first break, I'll just play it, and that way you don't have to do anything for that time. And I'll be back. It's like 3 minutes and 22 seconds, I think. But it's a new promo for locals, which is going to be great. You guys will like it, I think. Boomher says, another interesting thing to look into is the culling of the chicken population. If they even think one chicken is sick, the entire flock is immediately culled, hundreds of thousands being slaughtered. And, you know, bird flu was a big deal this year as well. But for backyard chicken owners, you know, we don't face the bird flu like others do. Bird flu happens when other birds get into contact with your birds. Mine are all completely locked up, so no other birds can get into their food. Nothing can interact with them, because I have to keep mine completely locked up. They have a run and everything, but the only time they're out is with me and the dog, because otherwise the predators here are just intense. And I've lost 9 chickens in one attack before. So one attack can devastate your entire flock. So I have to keep them locked up. Yeah, it is really convenient that we're having these food shortages and egg shortages. Eggs are skyrocketing, and now all of a sudden the backyard farmers' chickens aren't laying. Yeah, I think you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure it out, I guess. But I do think that it's about cost cutting for the corporations that are making the chicken feed. I think that they're cutting corners. Is what I think. So I will be looking into solutions for my chickens that I'm going to buy local. I'm going to supplement their food with high protein from the kitchen and also from, whatever I can do, whatever I can get for them, sunflower seeds. But it is really frustrating for those of us who are, I'm not just feeding and taking care of these chickens for nothing, which is what it's been since August, where I'm just feeding all these extra mouths and I'm getting nothing in return. It's absolutely maddening. And we've been trying everything and now come to find out that it's the food and they didn't have and they don't tell us. Madness. It's absolute madness. It just pisses me off. So, all right, let's get on to the topic. You know what it's time for? It is Monday, and it's the Monday after football. And I do have some football news for you.
Are you ready for some football? Oh, just sue me already, you NFL jerks. This commentary is protected under fair use laws. Anyone who tries to say otherwise is a copyright cuck.
That's right, folks. The NFL. We do have some news about the NFL. You will recall that recently the NFL put a copyright strike on my channel. Well, not a strike, but a copyright notice where they took my 3 cents. They wanted my 3 cents that I made on my video of talking about one of their games, less than 60 seconds of footage I played and talked about it. And they put a copyright on my channel so that they would take the anything my video made, they would take which was 3 cents. They wanted my 3 cents. And I fought it. And I fought it and they said no. So I had to appeal it. And in my appeal, I used Nick Rekieta's, guidelines of how to do it with the magic phrases. And basically it's sue me. Sue me if you want this money, because that's how you have to do it in court. You have to prove in court that this is not fair use. Now in they had 7 days to respond and actually sue me, or it was going to revert back to me. And they chose not to. So they have admitted, the NFL has admitted that they are copyright cucks and that they had no right to do what they did. And Miss Universe too. Now, Miss Universe did even worse to us. Miss Universe took our stream down. Now, the NFL didn't dare do that. The NFL at least just wanted the money and didn't want my stream taken down. But Miss Universe did, and they got it taken down. So I went straight to the appeal to put a time limit on that so that they could only have 7 days in order to keep my stream down. Well, today I looked on my YouTube and that stream is back up, and they had conveniently demonetized it, but I just flipped it back on and it is now on a green. It is now monetized. And they can't do jack shit to me. So Miss Universe, go hang, because you did it too. You're a copyright cuck as well. And for an organization that claims to be about women's empowerment, how dare you strike a small channel run by a woman for merely commenting on one small portion of your Miss Universe competition, which is total shit, by the way. It's a ridiculous competition and it makes women look stupid. And we have a right to say so. So I have won my copyright fight with the NFL and with Miss Universe. We have not had to go to court. They decided not to pursue any action because they know they're wrong and they know they're copyright cucks. So in carrying with that theme forward, I'm not going to give them a break. However, we're going to continue talking about the NFL if I want to. And I do want to, because it was a big weekend this weekend. We had the championship games to decide who's going to be in the Super Bowl. My beloved Bills last week, unfortunately, are out, and that was really heartbreaking. And I'm glad I didn't have to watch that game. I was actually playing Dungeons and Dragons with my daughter and her friends for her birthday party, and the game was on in the other room, and I could tell it was not going well because it was deadly silent in there. It was very, very quiet. And I was like, oh man, this is not good. And the Bills just got blown out by was it the Bengals? Yeah. The Cincinnati Bengals, which was weird because that was the Hamlin. Remember the last game they played against the Bengals, Damar Hamlin had the heart attack on the field. And that was just terrifying and awful. And speaking of conspiracy theories, there was a conspiracy that grew up around Damar Hamlin that he was somehow not alive anymore because no one had seen him in a while. And then when he was when he did make an appearance at the stadium, he had his face covered and like the security was all around him. So they just couldn't. Everyone was like, that's not really him. Is that really him? And he didn't really show his face. So of course, everyone's like, okay, well, now he's not really okay. And he must be, he died or something. But Damar Hamlin has made a video. He is out. Hold on, let me pull this up because I do have Damar Hamlin's first video since his hospitalization. And here we go. Here he is. So this is definitely him, you guys. This is definitely Damar. Gotta put this up on the screen. Okay, here we go. Wrong one. Okay. Why can't we?
Now that my brothers have closed out a strong winning season, as I continue to make so much progress recovering, I think it's finally a good time to share a few things. I think it was important for me to wait and speak publicly at the right time, as it was just a lot to process within my own self, mentally, physically, even spiritually. It's just been a lot to process, but I can't tell you how appreciative I am of all the love, all the support.
This is not a deep fake. Stop it.
That's just been coming in my way. What happened to me on Monday Night Football, I feel is a direct example of God using me as a vessel to share my passion and my love directly from my heart with the entire world. And I'm able to give it back to kids and communities all across the world who need it the most. And that's always been my dream. That's always been what I stood for and what I will continue to stand for. And with that being said, I want to thank a few people who helped me most directly to get back to this moment to where I'm able to speak to you. The Bills training, athletic, and medical staff, notably Nate, Denny, Joe Mika, Tabani, Dr. Bassan, Dr. White, Dr. Kim, Dr. Mark Feinberg, Joe Collins, Dr. Daz, Marissa, Dr. Musio, Corey Reblin, and last but not least, I can't forget Kels. The University of Cincinnati Medical Center, starting with Dr. Timothy Pritz, Dr. William Knight, and all the first responders who acted swiftly and skillfully to save my life. To all the medical personnel and healthcare providers at both Cincinnati Medical Center and Buffalo General Hospital, Dr. Jamie Nadler, Dr. Ken Snyder, Dr. Levy, and Dr. Chi Kim. To my mom and my dad, who are literally my anchors and my everything, who never left my side the entire time. To my little bro, who is my why, my reason why I strive to be my best self every day. And to all my family and friends who supported me in many ways during this time, whether it was showing up for visits or just a single text just to check on how I was doing. To Bills Mafia, I just want to thank you so much for the genuine love and support. Ever since I became a Buffalo Bill, it's been nothing but genuine love and support, not even only for me, but everyone's situation, no matter what it was. It was, Bills Mafia jumped behind it and gave 110% support, love, no matter the situation. And, with this happening to me, I didn't feel anything short of the love. And it really helped me stay encouraged to get through the toughest moments and the toughest times. I really can't thank you enough. To the entire Bills organization, my brothers who made it a priority to lift me up spiritually, mentally, and in every way possible, reaching out every day, seeing how I was doing, calling, texting, just checking up on me no matter the situation. I'm proud to be a part of this team. I'm proud to be able to call you guys my brothers. To the city of Cincinnati, the Bengals, and the entire NFL, just for putting team allegiance aside to root for one kid's life, and just the humanity of a player, that's wearing Buffalo blue. You put humanity above team loyalty. You showed the world unity over division. I'm not surprised by it, but I'm deeply grateful, and I'll be forever thankful and indebted to that. To all the kids who sent me letters and heartwarming gifts, you mean the world to me. You made my day every day. You inspire me to keep dreaming big and to just continue to keep helping making this world a better place. It's always been important for me to be a role model, but just seeing the love and the support from the youth, it just makes me want to, give back and get out in the communities and touch the kids and just be that example that they can look to, touch, feel, talk to, and know that whatever they dream of, it's real. It can happen if you stay focused, stay dedicated, stay committed to what.
Okay, this is a really long video, but anyway, we don't need to watch the entire thing. I am trying to, I'm trying over here to troubleshoot some problems I'm having with the stream right now with StreamYard because it's running really slow and I don't know why. What does it want me to do? All right. Oh, for crying out loud. All right. So do you guys think that that's Damar Hamlin? Because I do. I don't think it's a deep fake. He may not play football again. They didn't really talk about that. He had very serious problem, very serious heart condition that led to whatever happened, his heart attack. They haven't really been that. Hold on. Select what? They want me to do all this stuff? I'm trying to troubleshoot this, and also, hello, I'm live right now. All right, fine. We have to troubleshoot this for StreamYard, so let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, click on this link. It will test your packet loss for your connection. Please click on that link, and next to where it says or, select preset approximation phase. What? Okay, whatever. What am I doing? All right. Select 720p H.264 start test. Okay, I guess. Select, I don't see that. Packet size. Packet size, that sounds dirty. Select approximation. There it is. There it is. What did I say? 720 H.264? H.264. Yes. Okay, there we go. Start test. All right, sorry. We're testing for StreamYard right now. Yes. This is so frustrating. Yes, I'll send you a link to my stream. They want a link to the stream now. Copy. Every time I use my green screen, this is what happens. This is why I can't use it. This is why I think it's the green screen. Every time I use it, things run slow. And it sucks because what is the point of having it if I can't use it? Okay, so test it. Here's the test. That doesn't look good. Let me send that over to StreamYard. Hold on. There you go. Every time. So I may have to take down the green screen. Who's asking about my packet size? Oh, man. Wait, are you Legal Vices has been having problems with his stream this morning too? Well, then maybe it's not me. But although my upload speed is not good. My upload speed, I just tested it. It's only at 7 point something or 6.7. That's bad. It's really, really not good. And it should be up at 23. So something is not right. So I'm going to have to, I'll have to take the green screen down. Probably. I knew that was going to happen. I just knew it. Production does not like my background though. So I'm trying to get one that looks better. But it just is what it is. It's playing. It's been okay. Leah, you're saying that StreamYard has been acting up since Friday. Interesting. Well, I wish that they would fix it. I wish they would fix this. Whatever it is, I wish they would fix it because it's becoming a problem. All right, I'm just waiting for them to get back to me. I see that he's typing, so we'll try and figure this out. I see the Wi-Fi thing is back up again. Use my green screen. Okay, below the circles, yes, he wants the other part of the test. Okay, hold on. Sorry, guys. I just gotta send this now. Okay, here you go. All right, getting back to the NFL. Everybody knows what I like about the NFL the most, right? You all know that, right? Are we all in agreement on what Meghan likes about the NFL? Mostly, it's handsome dudes wiggling. Like, let's just be completely honest about it, shall we? I mean, really, that's what we're here for, right? I mean, that's what I'm watching the NFL for. There's no doubt about that. Pants. Oh, wiggle, 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 wiggle. It's always the pants. Yep. Rants for pants. Hey, I see you over there, Rumble. Hey, I'm checking the locals chat right now. Are you guys in there? Did you find it? Did you find the live chat? Because it is up there. It says Leighton Gay. Come join me. Where are you? All right, I better get to the topic at hand because I've wasted so much time. I'm so behind. So that's probably enough NFL for now. All right, Mr. Fox is telling me that the test is showing. Yeah, see, it's slow. Upload speed. And I had Spectrum here, by the way, and all the guy did was screw things up. Totally screwed it all up. Jacob says, I wore football pants for my wife. She kicked me out. That doesn't happen. No woman would kick you out for wearing football pants. No way, man. No way. I don't believe it. What are those square things in the back of the pants? Those are pads. Pads. All right, let's see. We're at 42 minutes. What time is it? Oh my gosh, it's 12:01. Well, that's all right. Luckily I don't have a guest at 12. So let's do this. Let's take a quick break. I will try and get to the bottom of this, of what's going on. And I'm going to get some coffee and then I will be back. But first, we do squats. Do your squats, folks. Do your squats. Are you ready? Here we go.
You impose fatness on you. You did it by going, oh, I want the butter on the popcorn. Oh, I want the butter on the ice cream. Oh, I want the butter on the sandwich. Oh, I want the butter on the salad. Stop eating butter. Can you just get up, walk 1 mile? Do squat! Walk farther. And if you can't walk, crawl, roll, get dragged by a goddamn forklift. Whatever is wrong with you, just move. Ever. Get off the chair. Get off the couch. No one is coming to service you while you sink into that furniture, while you become one with the pleather your poor ass got on that Walmart couch. Can you try not floating into sadness? Stop eating, stop drinking, start walking, start doing anything that you haven't been doing, you fat piece of shit.
Guys, if you are not following me on Locals, meganfox.locals.com, and right now you can become a part of my Locals group with the Squat Squad by using promo code SQUAT for a two months free and a year membership right now. If you sign up on meganfox.locals.com, we're having so much fun in there. We are doing Freezer Meal Friday this week. Freezer meals are fantastic for busy people. I don't know about you, but there are a lot of times it's 4 o'clock and all I have is frozen meat.
Sometimes we forget just to take it out. Like there's so much happening in one day. You're like, oh crap, I forgot to plan what we were going to do for tea. I'm going to feed these children, these offspring, these things I have.
Yeah, these
what
things
are they? They're hungry. They keep saying, Mommy, I'm hungry. And I'm like,
I have posted ingredients for, we're going to make all of these meals in one day, in one live stream, and get them all in your freezer so that you will have an entire week's worth or more. So we're going to do tacos, baked ziti casserole, spaghetti and meatballs, chicken, kung pao chicken, chicken burrito bowls, and angel chicken.
What's angel chicken?
Oh, it's so good. It's kind of like
I have not heard of angel chicken.
It's kind of like an Alfredo chicken. It's got cheese and wine and butter, and oh, it's so good. It's so
I'm
good.
impressed.
It's going to be so much fun.
So I'm like,
Marquina says all of that's anti-squats. It all has butter. Only one of the recipes has butter, just the angel chicken. And by the way,
points to be made there.
You can have the butter if you do the squats. That's the thing. It's the trade-off. You can have the butter, just do the squats. Angel chicken, barbecue chicken, already in the freezer. Popo's favorite. That's my dad's favorite. Spaghettis with stuffed peppers with huge meatballs. So good. All right, looking pretty good. Okay. Chicken in. Oh, wait. No, don't put the chicken in. Now the chicken goes in after that cooks a little bit. Chicken in. All right. Tacos go in. All right, so tacos are in the bag, and I'm sticking it in the freezer. Yum. So good. We're going to try Popo's favorite meatballs right now. Oh, they're so soft. Don't burn your mouth. You ready? Oh, they're so good. So good. I'm going to turn the oven down. What are you doing? Get out there. It's in the garbage. We have done it, and I hope that every time you take one of these meals out of the freezer, I hope it puts a big smile on your face. We're doing things here that help. It starts with those small things, like how to get through your week without feeling stressed out about what to make for dinner. It's about impressing our husbands by doing next to nothing. I mean, look what we've done. What, 3 hours of work? He doesn't have to know that. You don't have to know that. They just come home, they get this hot, delicious meal on the table, and they think, wow, my wife is really something special. My girlfriend's really something special. Or if you're one of the men watching, your girlfriend will come home and think that. And if it's just you, impress yourself. Invite a neighbor. All right, guys, take care. Thanks for being here. All right, I'm back. And now, I have to change my settings. Hold on. I have to turn the green screen off. Turn that off. There we go. All right. That should be better. What? I said turn it off, not on. Oh, for crying out loud. Well, my stream went down. Leah, why didn't you get in here and help? What are you doing? The stream went down. My entire internet just went down, and it just rebooted or something. I don't know what's going on, but sorry about that. Like, I guess we have no internet now. So, jeez. God. It's back up. I don't know.
Okay, it's still saying failed, and I wasn't going to mess with it while you were on.
Yours is still saying failed. Well, it just went back up for me, so.
Okay, tell me when you're done, and I'll try to reboot it.
All right, I will. Oh my God, you can't get your. Leah, when you hover your mouse over your picture in the green room, are you telling me you don't see something that says add to stream? That's bizarre. You should. It used to work. Why does it not work now? I don't get it. I don't get it. I got to talk to StreamYard. Yeah, glitchy AF is right. Fuck. Should we even do this today? Should I just call it quits? I mean, I can't because Sean's coming at 1 o'clock. This shit better get fixed. What happened to my StreamYard guy? Hello? Let me try this chat again. My... Oh no, now I got a new guy. Why does this always happen? Shit. This is so frustrating. All right, anyway. I'm going to get to what I wanted to get to in the first place. The don't doubt me, because I'm always right portion of this program. You know, a month ago, I set the internet on fire for telling people who want to meet other people that they should get off their trashy social media dating apps and just like go to stores and stuff, you know, meet people out in the real world. That's what I told. That's what I told them. And apparently that was the wrong thing to say, because that just made everyone angry. And it turns out, though, that what I said, which was that women who are out there, they do want to be approached and they do want to be asked out. I stand by that. I think that's true. And I think that being approached out in public somewhere is a lot better than these stupid dating apps. Hold on. Communicating with StreamYard at the same time. All right. Yeah. Don't doubt me. Don't doubt me. Yeah. Okay. So here's what I found. So imagine my shock and hilarity as someone, actually it was Mr. Fox, sent me this article. Oh God, this is so funny, you guys. So freaking funny. Hold on. Oh God. Female TikTok users say they're deleting their dating apps and heading to Home Depot. Well. Whose idea was this? I don't know, guys, but I think I'm changing the culture here. Some TikTok users say they've searched for their future husbands at Home Depot. And by the way, I would like to point out that Home Depot has an auto parts section. Remember when I said you should go to the auto parts store? See if you can find a date there. Look who's right. Success rates vary. No husbands at this site, one user said, who went to a Home Depot 3 times in 1 month. You know what, ladies? Good for you. Get out there. Good for you. That's what you got to do. You got to put yourself out there. Could Home Depot be the destination to meet your future husband? If some TikTokers are to be believed, the retailer's over 2,000 locations have become an unlikely spot to look for dates. Of the many women on TikTok who say they're deleting the dating apps in 2023, go ladies. Some say they're looking for love in a surprise location. I'm headed to Home Depot to look confused in the lumber aisle. Look at I love it. I love it. I love it so much. Like, I can't even tell you. I love it. All right, hold on. This one I didn't like so much because she was like, I'm looking for husbands. Most of them are married, but I won't let that stand in my way. Yeah, I didn't like that. Don't go after the married ones, ladies. Is there anything else running in the background that can be eating up your processing? Good question, StreamYard. Let me find out. Let's quit all this shit that's running in the background. But what's running in the background? Slack? Okay, I'll quit Slack. What else can I quit? I mean, I've got WhatsApp. I'll quit that. Fine. So frustrating. All right, QuickTime doesn't need to be running. We'll get rid of that. Adobe Acrobat Reader. I don't even know why that would be running. How come these things won't quit when I say quit? Gosh darn it. All right, anyway, let's get back to the article. All right. But this one's great. TikTok user Jolene D asked a Home Depot employee in a March 22 video, do you have an aisle specifically where single men are? God, she's so funny.
Do you have an aisle specifically where single men are? Is this a dog I can pet? Hi, sweetheart. Hi. Do you know anything about a bunch of single men being here for a dating thing?
No.
You're not single, are you?
I'm not, no.
Too bad. Cute dog. Are you guys single?
No.
Damn it. Thank you. All these people are married. Yeah, that wasn't the answer at all. I'm going to go to Lowe's now.
Go to Lowe's. That's the important part, is that you don't give up. Okay, don't give up. Whatever you do, don't give up. Keep trying. If the Home Depot by you doesn't have any single guys, just go to the next one. That's all I have to say about that. Just keep trying, folks. Keep trying. Yeah, none of this is working, James. StreamYard James. None of this works. StreamYard James is giving me ideas, but none of it is working. All right, what if I try to manually shut this down? Let's try this. How do I shut this down? I don't know. Okay. File. Oh, there it goes. Okay, shut that down. Shut this down. I'm shutting down all the shit. Fine, go away. Okay, anything else? How come GarageBand just won't quit? It just will not quit. And now QuickTime is jumping at me. I don't even know what that means. Do you ever see, do you have a Mac when your applications will jump? I don't know what that means when they start jumping at the bottom of the screen. It drives me absolutely nuts. I'm like, why are you trying to get my attention? I don't want to be looking at you right now. I have other things to do. Could not be opened. Okay, fine. Whatever. Go away now. Go away. I'm shutting down everything that's running in the background. QuickTime just will not stop. What do I have to do? Force quit this sucker? QuickTime file close. Where's close? Just close. Go away. Nope. Can't do it. I don't know. I've done everything I can, StreamYard James. And I'm just going to have to ignore this now because I don't know what else to do. All right. Anyway, getting back to Home Depot. So very clearly, women do not hate men coming up to them in public, right? They're like out there actively looking for men who might be single. And they're looking in all the places I said they should be looking. Home Depot, auto parts, bookstores, wherever. Just get out there because life is not real online. Blurple says, I had to stop wearing makeup to the grocery store because single dudes kept starting conversations with me. I wasn't single then, but I am now. Well, then you know what to do. Get your makeup on and go to the grocery store. I mean, honest to God. So what I got in trouble for, and Leah made this fantastic video. We're going to play it because it's so good. Leah Gio made this fantastic video that she put on YouTube for the local auto shop on locals.com. So the local auto shop.locals.com is where it's an old style dating chat for dating advice or meeting people or anything. And we've all been having fun in there. And Leah's been doing an excellent job keeping up on that. And she always has great stuff. And so let me share this so that we can watch this, because this is great. If you're wondering how all of this started and why I needed to be vindicated in the first place, this is a great place to start. So let's watch this, shall we? Come on. Play. Let's get this big.
I don't give a shit. I've been drinking, and we can say literally whatever we want and whatever we feel, and oh my God, freedom is great. Dude, you did that fucking short video the other day of you with that Tinder date where you showed up and she had ordered 5 appetizers. She had a fake Tinder profile picture.
Yeah.
She'd ordered 5 appetizers before he even got there.
This was a Tinder girl that you were meeting?
I did not know she was not eating. I was like, why are you not eating? Because I know you're hungry as hell. Come on. You're not. And she had already ate. And then she told me she forgot her wallet. So I had to pay for that shit.
No, but I mean, just the sheer thoughtlessness of that.
Oh no!
Oh, it's not thoughtless. That's more common, surprisingly.
Hang on.
Clearly, you've never seen Camelot with his shirt off.
It's like a science, man. I've had to delete Tinder 3 times just to get rid of the matches so I can go back through the algorithm.
Why keep doing it? Why
Here
not
I
just
go.
go to a bookstore and
Megan.
wander around and see if you run into someone hot? Like, I don't
That's
understand.
what Elliot Rodger did.
Megan, why would he go to a bookstore and try to run into someone hot when he can just go on Tinder and definitely run into someone hot?
Because they're obviously psycho. I mean,
Can we also talk about like what Nicholas Sparks' book you're living in right now? Like,
you know what?
You do
Volume
know,
8.
wait a minute. You do know that there are girls outside the door, right? Like, you walk outside your house and you
Have
go
you seen
wherever you go to,
Yeah.
like, the grocery store.
Dude, I'm an owl.
Go to the fucking auto shop. I don't know.
Megan,
Go to
you
the
just
auto shop.
Megan,
There's some of them who work there. They work there.
Go to the construction yard, go to the auto shop.
auto shop. What are you?
There are girls that work in my auto shop. I don't
Pick
know.
out a
like,
muffler together.
This is the dating
Are you
advice
sure that's not
equivalent
a-
of, like, why don't I go fishing at the local sewer hole, like this local manhole?
What? Why are you so
Hard
scared?
pass.
Are you fine? What happened?
I'm gonna fucking
No.
die. I'm gonna mute myself because I'm
dating
coughing
advice.
too much.
Why is he laughing? I don't understand.
Because what you're saying is insane.
I don't
I don't get it though. Like, women are everywhere.
Look, Megan, I'm gonna go to the deli to meet a vegetarian.
They're every other person on the planet. I don't understand why you have to be online.
Sure, but why wouldn't you go to the places where people who are actually looking to date are?
No, Megan, women do not want to be approached. They don't want to go out. They don't want to do anything. They just want to sit at home and nest and acquire shit.
Go out. Yeah, I know. I'm old. Thank you for reminding me. We would go out to like bars and clubs and things, and we would, holy shit, meet people. Like, we
So
would
much
actually
easier
like
now, man.
talk to people.
Sure.
And guys on the subway.
Did you guys do the
On the
Charles?
subway.
I met
guys on the subway?
I met guys on the L. Yes, I can meet some very good finance guys there. There's
How many of those guys did you date / bang, Megan?
I went out with a couple of them, sure.
Out of all those thousands of guys, you went out with a
It
couple?
wasn't thousands, but I mean, you'd go places. The guys that would approach me, if I found them attractive or whatever, I'd go out with them, sure. But it's
Megan,
true.
I
You can just
love
talk
you.
to women and like they will go out with you. If
No,
you
no,
are
no.
smart
Oh, they
and
on
good.
Instagram that they met some creep at the auto body shop today.
I love you very, very much. I really do. But that's so cute and wonderful. For a guy who is on the L, like, you are taking L's left and right if you're approaching women.
Yeah, and I don't know what it says about how pathetic I am or otherwise, but I'll
No,
tell you
you-
anyway. I've actually hired professionals to run my online dating for me, and they can't even get dating for me.
Camelot, any luck at the auto body shop just now?
Meghan
And you gotta wipe that smarmy ass look off your face, like that fake faux compassion bullshit you got going on.
Oh shit.
Points out, can I just point out,
Real
there's a
quick,
very big difference. Tinder, I just want to point out, Tinder is not a place to play.
Nope,
If you want
that's
to,
fair.
shack up,
Thank you.
You want
God,
to shack
yes.
up, and you're in the top 20% of men with respect to looks. You can shack up like Camelot has, and you can have a different chick every night. If you're looking for a serious relationship, Tinder is not the place to find it.
The auto parts store. All right. So I love that video. So that's a good recap if you guys wanted to know how the hell this all got started. And so you heard them all. Even the ones who were being nice about it were saying, I'm totally out of touch. I have no idea what I'm talking about. And women do not want to be approached anywhere. Well, I think that Home Depot, the Home Depot article that went viral about women literally staking out Home Depots, trying to get the attention of single men, proves that I'm right. I'm right. And even Kurt had to admit it. Although let's see if you can figure out what it is about this that I really didn't appreciate all that much. Hold on one second. Let's get up to where Nick talked about this on his stream the other day. And where did it go? Here it is. What do I have to do to get there? Oh, there we go. Let me pause for a second. Ah, shit. No. Stop. Why is it playing? Okay, there. All right, let me share this with you. Because when that article came out, I, of course, sent it directly to Nick, and he was dying laughing. And he put it up on Twitter and said, is Megan Fox vindicated? And I think yes. I think the answer is obviously yes. Obviously, yes, I'm vindicated. Because it proves the point that women are not going to pepper spray you if you come up to them and ask them out. They're literally waiting for you to do it. They want you to do it.
Feud. God, that'd be funny. Jack Riley says, hi, Nick. Hey, Kurt. Gone to a Home Depot lately.
I did see that. Apparently, I might owe someone an apology. Apparently, that is a tactic to find women. I apparently stand corrected. Who knew?
I saw that and I died. I was like, oh my God. Feud. God, that.
Okay, someone though, Kurt, you owe someone an apology. Just someone. No, you owe me the apology. And by the way, it wasn't because the apology that you owe is not for being wrong about having a wrong opinion. It's not for that. What you owe me the apology for is being a dick and telling me to go fuck myself for having that opinion, which it turns out is pretty right on the money. It doesn't matter though, if you and I disagree on whatever. You never have to apologize to me for taking the opposite of my opinion. The only apology that is owed is because you were a dick to me for no reason. Everyone else was taking it with really good, sense of humor. And he can't even say my name. It's still happening. You're still being a dick. You can't even say my name, who you owe the apology to. And by the way, Kurt, you have blocked me on Twitter. So you're not interested in having a conversation with me still because you won't even unblock me on Twitter. So even when Nick tweeted that out and Kurt responded, I couldn't even see it because he blocked me for no reason. I wasn't a dick to him. He was a dick to me. So, yeah, you do owe me an apology, but not for having an opinion that differed from mine. You owe me the apology just for being a dick and for going full Jack Murphy on someone when it was just a fun conversation and it's certainly not personal, had nothing to do with you. But I doubt that that's going to happen because Kurt's just not the type of person who can apologize for real. I mean, he couldn't even say it on the stream. I owe someone an apology. Well, who the hell else are you talking about except me? I mean, this is just silly. It's silliness. And you know what? I think, frankly, some of you out there who are having really bad luck with dating and love and everything else, stop listening to people who are engulfed in this culture and start asking advice from the people around you who have successful relationships. Do that instead. Talk to the successful, happily married couples around you, because it turns out that we do have valuable advice and ideas to offer. So, and I do feel vindicated by it, because I told you from the beginning, people have not changed. I said this on Nick's birthday stream. People haven't changed in 2,000 years or more. Okay. For however long people have been on this planet, they have not changed. They only want one thing. All people want the same thing. We're social beings. We want love. We want relationships. We want family. That never changes. And no matter what technology comes around, the basic human desire to have a connection with other human beings will never change. And these things cannot happen on this device. Like you might think that you're connecting, but you're not, unless you're in the same room with someone and you're doing eye contact and body language and exchanging pheromones, and all of that stuff cannot happen over a phone. That doesn't mean that you can't meet someone like Leah and I have talked about so many times, the 90s chat, when we used to type letters to one another, and people have written letters to one another over the years at wartime and whatever, and found their true love that way. It is a good way to meet people, because clearly our technology has evolved to the point where everyone is doing most of their socializing online. But that doesn't mean that we must stop socializing out in the real world. We actually have to ramp it up. We have to ramp it up. We have to ramp up our social activity outside, especially because we've all been subjected to ritual abuse through the government over COVID for the last 3 years. And everybody is like terrified of socializing, and we need to get past that. So I wrote an article. It's on VIP on PJ Media today. I don't know if it has published. Let me go and check and see if it has published yet. So if you go to pjmedia.com and you click on columnists and you click on my name, yes, it is there. It's in the VIP section. And if you're not a VIP subscriber and you want to be, you can use my promo code FOX for a discount. And you can get access to exclusive columns like this one. But I have written my thoughts about this here. Searching for love, delete the apps, and try Home Depot. I'll read you some of this. I said a few weeks ago, I endured the scorn of the internet for suggesting that dating apps are garbage, and that anyone looking for love would have a better time looking for a date at the bookstore or the auto parts store than on Tinder. This was heartily laughed at. It was decided that I was extremely out of touch, old, and lacking in any knowledge that could help anyone today who's looking for love. I was told I should be quiet and let the young people work it out, because that's going so well for them, or something. No one believed me when I said women do want to be approached out in the real world, and they do want to be asked out while they're grocery shopping or browsing for books. I was told that I don't understand women today, and that men were more likely to get pepper sprayed than get a date this way. This conversation got very heated and uncomfortable. It's a fact that dating is clearly a touchy subject these days, and those who have been unlucky in love resent happy marrieds telling them what to do, even if we're trying to help. And then I put the video in that Leah made. This stream became a lightning rod for conversations between men and women that didn't die down for quite a while. Those under 35 tended to agree with the prevailing theory that men can't ask women out in public anymore, while those over 35 think dating apps are garbage. But then out of nowhere comes a viral story about young women ditching apps and to find husbands at, wait for it, Home Depot. Exactly like I said. Don't doubt me. Could Home Depot be the destination to meet your future husband? If some TikTokers are to be believed, the retailer's over 2,000 locations have become an unlikely spot to look for dates. I'm headed to Home Depot to look confused in the lumber aisle. fact that women are doing this and filming it is both hilarious and also vindicating to my position. Single women aren't unapproachable. They're everywhere, and they're all looking for the same thing: love. People have not changed so much that what worked 30 years ago doesn't still work, but it requires the same thing it required back then: confidence and a willingness to be rejected without letting it destroy you. Mr. Fox told me that he used to think of it as a numbers game. The more girls you ask out, the more dates you'll get. This is objectively true, but if you run for the hills every time someone says no, your chances go way down. These viral TikToks prove that women are still looking for men out in public. So try the bookstore, try the Home Depot, try the grocery store. Singles are everywhere, and they might say yes. Keep this in mind too. Dating apps exist to keep you as a client. That means if they successfully match you with the love of your life, they lose you as a client. That is not their goal. The goal of Tinder is to get you addicted to the product, not to find the happiness that would lead you to delete it. The constant swiping and hookups are what those apps are for. True love doesn't factor into it. So if you're looking for love for real, delete the apps and get out into the world. Go places, talk to people, sign up for classes, attend events, and meet people the old-fashioned way. It still works. If you're a woman out there looking for a man, go where the men are. Home Depot isn't a bad idea. I think that store should start a singles craft night. It would be fantastic marketing after this trend on TikTok. The truth is that all people want the same things: love, marriage, and family. And the best way to get those things is to not close yourself off from opportunities to meet new people. Ditch the apps. The people are all right outside your front door. Get out there and find them. And I know what many of you are thinking: I can't talk to people. That's because you've been subjected to ritual abuse for the last 3 years by your government. COVID policies destroyed our ability to talk to one another. My advice is to start small. Every time you go out, strike up a conversation with someone, anyone, just to see if you can do it. Practice makes perfect. Our social skills have been retarded by the government. It's time to build those skills back up. How? Challenge yourself daily. Make a stranger laugh. Compliment a stranger. Start a conversation with a checkout worker. Start trying to get back to normal. Never speaking to people in public is not normal. Standing 6 feet away from people is not normal. The faster we get back to the old normal, not the new normal, the better off everyone will be. So there, I gave you a special treat. I read you my entire VIP article so you can get a taste of what is on there. So if you want to become a member over there, please do use my promo code FOX for a discount. And also clickety click on it, please. I'm going to drop it in the chat right now. I'm headed over to YouTube. I'm going to drop it there for you guys. I'm going to drop it in the locals chat as well. Where are you guys? I guess I didn't put it up there fast enough because I don't see you guys in the locals chat today. Or maybe I'm just not, maybe my thing's not working because I just dropped something in there and it didn't work either. So maybe I'm not seeing you in the chat. Yeah, you guys are in there, but I'm not seeing your chats. It's got to be my computer. Shit's weird today. I don't know what to say. But my computer is not working well. All right, let me get over to Rumble and drop the link over there as well. Rumble, coming over to you right now. Rumble. I see you over there, Rumble. Hey guys, make sure you hit that like button if you're on YouTube and that plus button if you're on, or the thumbs up if you're on Rumble. That really helps me. And I always forget to say so. So do that now. Please do that now. I'm so thrown off because of the timing today, and starting late really threw me off as far as my timing. So I don't know what time it is. It's 12:38. All right. Hopefully Shawn got my invitation to be here at 1 o'clock. But Leah, I want to read the email that we got about the dating advice. Do you have it? Because I want to read that if possible. Now, we had asked you, we told you guys to make sure that you, if you had any dating questions, to send it to us. And you can send that at producer MFI Media
gmail.com, and we will answer them. Well, we got a few, and we've got one that we want to read and talk about. Light Giver, thanks for the super chat, says, just a suggestion, sit in a coffee shop, bring a book, Crime and Punishment, A Tale of Two Cities, The Sun Also Rises. Helps that you have actually read them. Or another classic, and look engrossed in reading it, but also not too engrossed that you're not approachable. So, look around every once in a while, make eye contact, smile. But yeah, I agree that classics help because a lot of people have read those. So that's a good way to start a conversation, to be like, hey, I read Crime and Punishment. What a great book. What part are you in? That it's a good way for someone to start a conversation. Speaking of, you guys have brought it up a couple of times about Eliza Blue. I will be getting to that. Eliza Blue, we're on Wednesday. Fair and Balanced is going to be here, and she's going to talk to us about her deep investigation into Eliza Blue. She's doing a documentary on it and what happened there. And we are going to get into that on Wednesday. Wednesdays are becoming our what are the actual facts? WTAF Wednesdays. We're going to get into the fake news stories and what's actually occurring. And I thought that the Eliza Blue story would be a great topic for that. Leah, did I miss your Leah, did you send me that, or do you want to pop in and read it, or I want to get the dating question that we had. It's on Miro. Okay, great. All right, great. Let me look. All right, so yeah, here it is. Let's read this chat that we got. We got a letter looking for some advice. So let's read that together, shall we? Hi all, was hoping to get a fresh perspective on my situation. I'm a 25-year-old California guy and a bit of a late bloomer. I was a reject weirdo for most of my life up until my sophomore year of college, where I really activated and became a lot more comfortable in mixed company. Now I've got a decent job, my clothes fit right, and I'm getting ready to purchase a home in Texas. I'm a lot more confident because of it. But it's only just now that I'm starting to get some positive feedback from women. So I'm in some personally uncharted waters here. I have this former coworker I talk to a lot. We get along very well, and she laughs at my extremely stupid jokes. So I took a chance and I asked her out last year. She politely declined, saying she doesn't want to get too involved with someone that plans on moving to another state. We're still good friends, and I'm used to getting completely blown off by now, so I called it a respectable loss and kept it moving. But last December, she invites me to celebrate New Year's Eve with her family. I'm leaving this state come hell or high water, likely both given the destination, but I'm still very curious because I don't have a lot of experience to look back on. We're friends, but we're not close friends, the type where parents have met. You can remember your name after a few tries. It almost seems inappropriate to invite me over for something like that. What do you think? Was it a friendly gesture, or is there more going on here? Stay unbreaded. Okay, I have a lot of thoughts about this. I think that she's playing with you, and she shouldn't do that. And I think very, very clearly you should tell her. I would go to her and say, why did you invite me to meet your parents when I've asked you out and you said no? I would just ask her, be like, because that's a meeting your parents and going to a family thing. That's something that you ask a lover to do, not just a friend. And especially if you know that this person is interested in you romantically, to me, it seems like insensitive of her to have asked that. So I don't like that. It sounds like to me that she's playing with you, and I would absolutely confront her about it. And if you all I would confront her about her asking you to meet parents when she's not interested in dating you, and ask her to clarify, like, are you interested in me? Like, should I ask you out again? Or is this a game? Because I don't like being played with. Yeah, if you're asking someone to meet your family, it's not just casual, right? So I don't like the way that she's, when I say confrontation, I mean, I would just be upfront about it. I would, when I talk nicely, just say, what's going on? You invited me to meet your family, but you don't want to go out to dinner with me? I mean, I would ask, but I don't like this. It seems to me like she's playing a game. And honesty is the best policy, especially in dating. And so if you want to know something or you're confused about something, you should ask. And I think it's possible that this girl changed her feeling toward you, but you should just find out. Just don't beat around the bush and just find out. So that was a great letter. And thank you so much for sending it. And if you guys have any other, if anybody else wants to send one, you need to send it to, what happened to that? There it is. Here's the email address, producer.mfimedia@gmail.com. So you can send your questions or your observations to that, and we'll read it on the show. We'll talk about it together. What do you guys think in the chat about that letter? How are you feeling about it? Let's see. Blurple says, I would ask her, what's up with that? Yeah, me too. Me too. I think it sounds like female games. A girl who can't make up her mind. Some people don't see meeting the folks as a big deal. I don't know what people those are, but if asking someone who's already asked you out and you've turned them down to come meet your parents is what I call a very mixed signal. She should know better than to do that, because she's going to be now sending another signal to this guy that she might be more interested in him than just friends. And she shouldn't be doing that if she's not. So Meghan is today's Dear Abby. Yeah, why not? You know, I'm here to help. I'm here to help. And if you have a dating question, let me know. Or a relationship question, because I will do my best to help you out. I've already helped out a bunch of women who are now going to Home Depot instead of the dating apps. And I'm telling you, somebody's going to get lucky over there. I'm sure of it. And Home Depot should really lean into this, and they should do Home Depot weddings, Home Depot babies. They should do the whole thing. It would make a great marketing thing. Just terrific. My dad and I always harassed my mom when she read Dear Abby and called her Dear Blabby. That's funny. I think she was being nice and already established boundaries, so meeting the family isn't a big deal. I disagree. And here's why. You should know as a woman, if someone has asked you out, a man has asked you out, and you turned him down, you need to keep those boundaries, pretty where they are. Don't move the boundaries unless you want him to think that now you are interested, because that's not okay. It's not okay to make someone you're not interested in think you are interested in them because you're mixed signals. Find someone else to go to your family get together with you, not someone that wants to date you that you don't want to date. It's not fair. It's not a kind thing to do to someone. And you shouldn't do it. Check out the quality guy that was in the local. It's on Locals. Okay, on the Locals Auto Shop page, Leah. All right, hold on. Let me see. Locals. Oh, now I can see you in the chat, guys, on Locals. I don't know what was going on before, but I couldn't see you there. All right, I'm going over to Locals, the local autoshop.locals.com. Quality man. Should I play this? Hold on. Let's see. Where did you find this? What is this? What am I looking at? All right, hold on. Am I going to get in trouble from YouTube by playing this? Hold on. Let's see. Stop. No, that's the wrong one. Boy, 9 days off of live streaming. I've forgotten how to do all of this. Let's see. Here we go. All right, let me pull this up. This is supposed to be a quality man. What? What is happening? Oh no.
You been arrested before?
I got arrested here like once.
You're in Vegas? What'd you get arrested for today?
Oh, that's for dinner. Some stupid thing. I left my bag like 20 feet away from where I was.
What brought you out from Ohio?
I'm trying to make it as an artist.
What do you do? Paint? Music?
I make like I paint with pens, ink, and all kinds of.
You sell your work on the street, on the strip?
I'm sorry, wait. Is that hair all over this man's shoulders and back? Okay, fellas, let me explain something to you. If you have this hair situation going on that this guy has, it's like all over his shoulders and his back, you need a wax job immediately. Gee, Ellie says, gee, he looks dateable. Why are you saying don't play it now? Why are you saying don't? I shouldn't play it? I don't know. I'm getting mixed signals from production. Am I getting? Oh, copyright. Got it. Okay. I can't because of the music or something, probably. Here, well, we could just. I can turn that off. Oh my Lord. Is he covered in blood? Or is he going to say that's paint? Oh Lord. Oh. Ladies, yeah. Do not pick up men on the side of the road, though. Don't do that. Oh God, this guy needs a wax. He needs a wax and a serious wax job. Is he a murder suspect? Yeah, I don't recognize. I don't recommend this type of man. I missed a super chat. Okay, hold on. Is it starred? Let's see. What did I miss? No, I think I got it. I got that one. Is there a new one? Hold on. He was at the local auto shop. Was he really? Oh man. All right. So hopefully, and let me check my email real quick because I want to make sure that Shawn got my invitation. I hope he did. I got to tell you a little bit about Shawn McMillan. He is one of my favorite attorneys. He has sued Child Protective Services in California and Arizona multiple times, and he wins millions of dollars each time he does it. I mean, the guy is amazing, and he doesn't do a lot of interviews because he doesn't have a lot of time. I hope he got my invitation for today because he did say he was coming today at 1 o'clock. It is now 12:51. I have not heard from him, but he's got 10 minutes, so hopefully he'll be here. But Shawn has a YouTube channel that I want to introduce you to because he's been doing live streams lately, and that's great because one of the things, I always tease that I watch Shawn McMillan's depositions like soap operas. I swear to God, every time he puts up a new deposition, because he puts them online years after the trial, he usually waits a while, but then he puts the depositions up, and I watch these things like soap operas. I'm so into it. I am so into it. I know I went over one of them with you guys on a stream once. Remember when he was the guy who was deposing Charles Sophie. Remember Charles Sophie? He was the one who was supposedly diagnosing all these women with Munchausen syndrome by proxy and taking their kids away from them. And we did a deep dive on that. And it was truly disgusting. But Shawn is the one who was doing the deposition on that. And he puts his depositions up online, and I absolutely freaking love him. So let me show you what his no, I keep hitting the wrong thing. Let me show you what his YouTube page looks like so that you can go over there and subscribe. He has been going through his own depositions with people on live streams and walking you through it. It's fan-stinking-tastic. I love it. So this is his, it's at Shawn McMillan, and that's SHAWN McMillan, McMillan. This is his channel, and he puts up all his depositions. And lately he's been doing these lives where he dissects, he goes through each part of the deposition and tells you what he was thinking and what was going on when he was doing these depositions. And he is just fantastic. If you guys are familiar with the story of Rachel Bruno that I covered on PJ Media, he won her millions from the hospital and from Child Protective Services. In fact, he sued Child Protective Services in Orange County so many times and won so many times that they had to change their policies in order to start following the law. So So Leah, you've got the next break all taken care of. You're gonna handle that. Okay, wonderful. Wonderful. Because I think we will do it now. Let's do it now. Let's take the break now. And when we come back, hopefully Shawn McMillan will be with us and we will talk. And if he's not, if for some reason some lines got crossed, don't worry. I've got other things we can do. I've got a lawsuit we can go over. But hopefully he will be here with us because he is so fantastic. So you know what it's time for, though. You know what it's time for. I'm going to do my shoulder shrugs for my neck issue, but you're going to do your squats or your push-ups or whatever it is. But the squat squad is back, baby. We're back.
You impose fatness on you. You did it by going, oh, I want the butter on the popcorn. Oh, I want the butter on the ice cream. Oh, I want the butter on the sandwich. Oh, I want the butter on the salad. Stop eating butter. Can you just get up, walk 1 mile? Do squat! Walk farther. And if you can't walk, crawl, roll, get dragged by a goddamn forklift. Whatever is wrong with you, just move. Ever. Get off the chair, get off the couch. No one is coming to service you while you sink into that furniture, while you become one with the pleather your poor ass got on that Walmart couch. Can you try not floating into sadness? Stop eating, stop drinking, start walking, start doing anything that you haven't been doing, you fat piece of shit.
Sometimes we have very serious conversations. Sometimes they're a little bit lighter. Sometimes there's the perfect blend of both. The perfect blend of both. And when you want to have the perfect blend of both, you need to have great guests like Megan Fox here.
Hi, Joe. Hi, chat.
Megan!
Oh, Megan's back.
Hey, Megan.
I'm back.
With all that
You have so much Christmas behind.
You do great work, Megan. Keep it up. I am going to have to sign off at this point, but thanks so much for having me on the show. I really appreciate it. Be happy to come back anytime.
It was great to have you, Andrew. Take care and have a great day.
Take care, folks.
Is freaking great. And one of the things that's great is you're a real reporter who does like real hard work and actually puts it, and you're fast and you beat everybody to the punch. Instead, you're out there with just the facts and you've got reliable information. You aren't just spouting BS. And so thank you for being a reliable reporter.
I try.
If you guys are on Rumble and YouTube, make sure you subscribe to Megan Fox. Get medium smart commentary at your fingertips. No, and honestly, also make sure you check out her writing on PJ Media. You will not find sharper writing.
This case will end up being studied in criminology school as much as the BTK killings. I really do. And I think the reason why is it will be studied as a law enforcement win. It will be studied as how you do it the right way. Andrew Branca is going to be here, and we're talking about the taco shop shooting. Was it self-defense or was it murder? Well, that case against Marilyn Manson, all those cases against him, sexual assault cases, all that, it's all crumbling. There is a new true crime story that just happened. Joe, I don't know if you know about this. There was a missing woman in Boston. Her name is Anna Walsh. Got Idaho updates. I've got a ton of great stuff for you on Idaho. And once I have you there, you'll subscribe.
You know, women do lie. I want evidence. I believe evidence. I don't believe all women. I believe all evidence.
Welcome back to the show. I'm Megan Fox with pjmedia.com. That's where you can find all my columns. And also, you can find me on meganfox.locals.com. And Locals is really a fun place to be, you guys. I really highly encourage you guys to get over there. If you are not on Locals, make sure you get that app downloaded on your phone because it's a great place to be. You don't have to pay to follow me there, and you'll still get all of the notifications, like when I'm going live, where I'm going to be, whose streams I'm going to be on, etc. And if you want to subscribe, then you can, and you'll get extra live streams. I'm doing live streams all the time over there. We're doing cooking streams, cleaning streams, and it's going to be great. It's going to be great. It's so much fun over there. So check it out. Make sure you get over there and at least follow, and then you'll have a chance to subscribe as well. What's coming up next? Okay, Leah and I need to do episode. What are we on now with Harry and Meghan? Those whiners. We're on episode 7, I think. We need to do that. We need to come up with a date, Leah, so we can do that. Another episode of that, because we're still watching Harry and Meghan, and it's such a shit show. It's very funny. All right, Sean's not here yet, so hopefully he got my email. Let me send him a message on Facebook. He usually checks it. He's usually on Facebook a lot, so let me do that and see if maybe he missed it somehow. Talk amongst yourselves. Okay, let's see. Sean, there he is. You know, we also might have gotten our time zones screwed up because he's in California. So sometimes people don't understand the Eastern time versus Pacific time. So maybe he got it wrong. Let's see. Here's the link. All right. While we're waiting for him, let's watch some of his deposition that I absolutely love. So he's deposing this social worker who took someone's children without a warrant. And if you know anything about the Fourth Amendment, when it comes to taking, the Supreme Court has already ruled that taking children falls under the Fourth Amendment to unlawful search and seizure. So you must have exigent circumstances if you're going to take children without a warrant. And exigent circumstances means that the child's life is in great danger. So if it's not great danger, you have to wait and get a judge to sign off on a warrant to take children. But Child Protective Services almost never does this. And I mean almost never does this. It's absolutely insane. They never, and here he got somebody to admit, one of these child service social workers, he got somebody to admit to taking children without a warrant and knowingly doing this. So let's go to, let's see, I need to get the right timestamp on this. Hang on a second. Let's pull this up. This is so maddening. It's going to piss you off. All right, so I need to go to 4408 first. Let's get to 44. Here, we'll start here.
To go out and actually speak.
Sean is the one. Sean is the one, by the way, speaking.
So you can get firsthand information, correct?
Object 4, incomplete hypothetical. Go ahead.
Do you need the question? Can we reread the question?
I don't have to
You
say
don't
same
have to
objection.
say same objection. It's there. It's in the record, and I
Okay.
understand. Did you learn anything in your core training about the constitutional rights that run between parents and children? Or actually, let me back up because maybe they didn't even cover that. At any point in your career with the agency, have you ever had a training, whether it was core training or some other subsequent training, where the subject matter covered the constitutional rights that run between parents and children, if any?
Oh my God, these people.
I don't recall.
So you don't remember perhaps in your core training being taught that parents and children have a protected liberty interest.
They have no
in
idea.
Continued uninterrupted maintenance of their relationship.
Fixed form, overly broad, also assumes facts. Go ahead.
Can I have the question read, please?
So you don't remember, perhaps in your core training, being taught that parents and children have a protected liberty interest in the continued uninterrupted maintenance of their relationship?
The Supreme Court ruled on that. They should know this.
I can't recall.
That doesn't sound familiar to you?
Not in core.
How about in some other training? Not in core implies to me that there may be some other training where that did come up. Why don't you go ahead and tell me about
Possible, yes.
that? Okay, when was that?
You say around the same time as core, maybe?
So like 2010-ish?
Yes.
Okay. And you have this vague recollection that you had this training about the rights that run between parents and children. You just don't remember specifics.
Correct.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Why don't you give me generally what you do remember? What are the rights that run between parents and children?
You have to form called speculation. Go ahead and answer.
Just based on your training. And if you don't remember it, then by all means just say, I don't remember any of it. And I'll move on. That's good enough for me. But can I have the question reread and see if we can get an answer to it?
Why don't you give me generally what you do remember? What are the rights that run between parents and children?
Between parents and children?
Oh God.
Yes.
She has no idea.
I don't know that I can answer that.
Have you had any training within the last, let's just say from 2014 forward, have you had any training that you recall that addressed this issue, the constitutional rights that run between parents and children?
Objection, relevance. Go ahead.
No.
So I just want to make sure I've got this clear and correct. The only training that you vaguely remember that might have touched on the issue of the constitutional rights that run between parents and children was back in 2010, right?
Yeah.
And you don't remember the specifics of that training?
No.
You also don't remember the rights, anything about the rights that run between parents and children?
Between
Mistakes
parents
just
and-
want to go ahead.
Between parents and children, no.
Can I get the question reread and then we'll get the answer again because there was sort of a jumping, cutting off as she was speaking.
You also don't remember the rights, anything about the rights that run between parents and children?
Correct.
Have you ever been trained? And when I ask this question, have you ever been trained? I mean, from core training all the way through today. Have you ever been trained that a warrant or court order is required if we're going to remove a child from the custody of its parents in non-emergency circumstances? Do you understand the question?
No.
Okay. Do you know what imminent danger means?
Yes.
What does that mean?
The child is at immediate risk of harm.
What kind of harm?
Objective form. Beg, go ahead.
Do you understand what I'm talking about when I say what kind of harm?
Not specifically, no.
Okay. For example, my kids, they fight a lot. They argue, they do things. And, you know, my daughter might push my son down and he gets a scraped knee. So he's got some harm. His knee is scraped.
Okay, I'm going to skip forward now to 56. Let's see, what did I say? Is this driving you crazy though? Like, this is a person who has ultimate control over whether to remove children from a home, and she doesn't even know that she's supposed to have a warrant to do that. No, 5636 will make your head explode if this hasn't already. I love watching him take these people apart though. He's so good at it. 56. Let's see.
Well, you can't do it.
Okay.
You can't do it without a
Okay, right here.
Severe bodily injury or death.
He's explaining what existential circumstances are: severe bodily injury or death. That's the only way you can take a
Okay,
kid
when did that
without a
happen?
warrant.
The training. You're referencing some training, right? When was that training?
During core.
During core. And what did they teach you during core about how it's impermissible to remove a child from the custody of its parent without getting a warrant unless the child's in immediate danger of suffering severe bodily injury or death? What did they teach you?
Overly broad, vague, go ahead.
I'm not sure I understand what impermissible means.
She doesn't know what impermissible means.
You can't do it.
Okay.
You can't do it without a warrant. You can't remove a child without a warrant unless you've got evidence to show that child is likely to suffer severe bodily injury or death in the time it would take you to get a warrant. That's what I mean. So what did they teach you in your core training relative to that concept?
Overly broad, go ahead.
Can you repeat the specific question?
Oh, God.
You can't do it without a warrant. You can't remove a child without a warrant unless you've got evidence to show that child is likely to suffer severe bodily injury or death in the time it would take for you to get a warrant. That's what I mean. So what did they teach you in your core training relevant to that concept?
Can you rephrase the question?
I'm not really sure how I can. I mean, you've already told me that in your core training, you learned something about this concept, right?
Yes.
What did you learn?
We don't obtain warrants.
You don't obtain warrants.
Mm.
And they specifically told you that in your core training, you guys don't need to obtain warrants?
Object form.
Huge.
States her testimony and vague, and I think also
He did not. He did not
Oh, wait
misstate
a
her
minute. If
testimony.
I'm misstating what
Bullshit.
you're trying to express to me, I absolutely don't want to do that. I really want to understand.
Congratulations,
So if I'm misstating
warrior
something,
biatch.
jump up and down, make a big deal, tell me that, and we'll try to fix it. That being said, can I have the question reread, please?
You don't obtain warrants. And they specifically told you that in your core training. You guys don't need to obtain warrants.
Correct. We do not obtain warrants.
Holy
Did they tell
crap.
you that anywhere else other than core training?
Boom.
Standard practice in our
Standard practice.
department, we do not obtain warrants.
We do.
What do you mean standard?
Wow.
You mean it's standard practice in your department not to obtain warrants?
Yes, we
Bitch
do
works
not
in,
obtain
in
warrants.
Arizona, by the way.
And what do you mean when you say standard practice?
I'm not aware of any time any caseworker has ever got a warrant to remove a child.
And you're also
Not
not aware
one.
of any time that any caseworker has ever been told by a supervisor or a trainer or someone in authority within your agency, hey, we need to get warrants unless the kids are in immediate danger
Every
of
time,
severe
like
bodily
giver.
injury.
If they never got a
Object
warrant,
form of
they took him
misstates
illegally every
prior
time.
testimony. Go ahead.
Again, correct me if I'm misunderstanding or misstating anything. Can I get the question reread, please?
And you're also not aware of any time that any caseworker has ever been told by a supervisor or a trainer or someone in authority within your agency, hey, we need to get warrants unless the kids are in immediate danger of severe bodily injury.
No, I can't speak for anybody else.
You've never heard it.
No.
And as a supervisor now, you've never told your subordinates that, hey, you guys, or some words to the effect, hey, you guys, we need to get a warrant to remove these kids unless they're in immediate danger of sustaining severe bodily injury or death. You yourself have never told your subordinates that.
Correct.
And one of the reasons that you've never told your subordinates that is because as a matter of practice and policy in your agency, your position is you don't need a warrant, right?
Object form, incomplete hypothetical, misstates various
Does
testimony.
not.
And
That's
also,
what she said.
in this particular case, it's argumentative. Go ahead.
And again, if I'm misstating anything, explain to me where I'm wrong. I mean, I need to know this stuff.
Overly,
Can I go ahead?
just overly broad. I mean, answer whatever questions he has after I've made my objection. If he's got another question, then he'll ask it and we'll object or whatever. Don't correct him or whatever. Just answer his questions.
Did I misstate your testimony in any way? There's a question.
Object form, go ahead. If you recall.
No, not that I know of.
Nope.
Can I have the original question reread, please?
And one of the reasons you've never told your subordinates that is because, as a matter of practice and policy in your agency, your position is you don't need a warrant, right?
No, we do not need a warrant.
Yes, you do.
Object form, go ahead.
Not that I'm aware of.
Wow.
Just make sure I'm clear on this, because when I say ever, yeah, I agree. That's a little bit broad.
Wow. This is
Might even
unbelievable.
be
What
vague
he
and
gets them,
ambiguous. I'm not sure I understood it. Let me just clear.
What he gets these people to admit on the stand is absolutely unbelievable. Here he's got this woman admitting that they never get warrants, that they believe they don't need a warrant to take a child. It doesn't matter if the kid is in imminent danger or not. They don't get warrants. It's standard practice that they don't get warrants. The Supreme Court has already ruled you have to have a warrant to take a child unless there are exigent circumstances, which means life and limb is at stake, which is extremely, by the way, limiting, right? Because unless a kid is on death's doorstep, you are not allowed to take that child without a warrant signed by a judge. This woman is just admitting that the entire Arizona CPS, apparatus, none of them get warrants ever. So that means that every child that they've taken against the law. Wow. I mean, this is why I watch these things like a soap opera. I'm telling you, I'm riveted by this. I could sit here and watch it for the rest of the day. Shawn and I must have had some miscommunication because he's not responding, and that makes me think he's just not available right now, which maybe he got the wrong date. I don't know, but I will make sure that I reschedule with him. But this is great stuff, you guys. You've got to go to his channel because he's been doing live streams where he will go through this particular, these videos, and he'll talk about it, about what was going on and what he was thinking and what tactics he was using to get them to admit to these things. And it's fantastic. And I'm sorry that he does not appear to be here right now. But we will revisit this at another time when we can get him, because these things happen. And so I understand that he may be just too busy, or I don't know, maybe we got our wires crossed. So I won't worry about that right now, but I will encourage you to go over there and find his channel, Shawn McMillan, on YouTube, because he is fantastic. So there's something that we did not get to is, hang on a second, let me pull it up. So there's a lawsuit that just happened. You guys remember... Hang on a second. Let me see. Login is busted. What? That's weird. Hold on one second. Okay. Let's go over to my show notes. See if I can find those. Google Docs. All right, you guys remember the weirdo that I talked about on several occasions, whose name is, he's the weirdo sovereign citizen. Do you remember this guy? Tim, what's his last name? I've completely forgotten it now. Timothy Holmseth. You may remember that was one of the that was why I got my strike against my channel, and I was suspended for 7 days, was that I reported on this man's criminal history of stalking women and stalking people. And somehow that got me a strike. And it was reversed when they realized that they were wrong. And he has been sued multiple times by multiple people. He also did not show up for his most recent court date in a stalking case in Minnesota. And so there's another warrant out for his arrest now. And his cohort, one of his people that he works with is named Randy Erickson. And Randy, you will recall that both Timothy Holmseth and Randy Erickson were attached to Cynthia Absug's case. They were part of the group of sovereign citizens that I believe lied to her and manipulated her and gave her very bad advice that landed her in jail. Now, Craig Sawyer is someone who has been attacked by these people for years. And Craig Sawyer is a former SEAL Team 6 member. He is a verified child trafficking expert. He actually helps police catch traffickers. It's something that he does as a company. He has a company that does that. And Timothy Holmseth and Randy Erickson have been defaming this man all over online for years. Speaking of Cynthia, you guys want to know how is she doing? She still needs a job. So if you guys know about, she's having a very difficult time getting a job with a felony conviction on her record. And so if you can, if you have ideas for her on how to get a job, that would be fantastic. And she has an email address, jobforcynthia@gmail.com. Warrior Biatch, yes, I did notice. I read that a little bit. You've welcomed your beautiful granddaughter into the world on Friday. We're so excited for you. Congratulations. That's terrific. Enjoy that baby. So this lawsuit was filed by Craig Sawyer against Randy Erickson, and there has been a ruling in the case. And this is all about what Tim Holmseth and Randy Erickson did to this man. And I wanted to read this with you because I just want you to know what it's like dealing with these people. All right. This is in the United States District Court, District of Minnesota. It's Randy Lynn Erickson versus Craig Sawyer, who is the claimant. I think they sued each other because it looks like she's the counter and defendant. So the counter defendant, and also she's the plaintiff and the counter defendant. So she sued him and then he countersued her. All right. So there's two lawsuits going on, and this is an opinion and an order. Pro se plaintiff Randy Lynn Erickson, by the way, she tells people that she's a judge. She has never been a judge. She tells people she's a former judge. She has never been a judge. There's no record of Randy Erickson ever being a judge. We believe that it's possible she calls herself that because she set up her own court somewhere. Like, these people think these are sovereign citizens. Remember grounds and subject matter jurisdiction. These are the types of people we're talking about here. So she must have set up some kind of court of in her mind that she's a judge of, and she just tells people that she's a judge. Yes, Blurple, Cynthia is out of jail now, but she's on 3 years of 3 years probation, and if she can't get a job, that judge can lock her up in jail for 3 years. So she really needs that job. All right, let's read through this. Pro se plaintiff Randy Lynn Erickson filed this lawsuit originally against 3 defendants who she alleged had threatened her in retaliation for her efforts to combat human trafficking. Erickson's complaint was dismissed without prejudice for lack of subject matter jurisdiction in March of 2022. Erickson v. Sawyer, and all the numbers. Before Erickson's complaint was dismissed, however, one of the defendants, Craig Randall Sawyer, filed a defamation counterclaim against Erickson seeking compensatory and punitive damages and injunctive relief. Erickson failed to answer or otherwise respond to Sawyer's counterclaim, so the clerk entered a default judgment. Sawyer now seeks entry of a default judgment that would, if issued, grant injunctive relief requiring the removal of online postings about Sawyer and forbidding future defamatory publications against Sawyer by Erickson, and join Erickson from future filings in this matter and any others without a licensed attorney or court approval, award Sawyer his attorney's fees, and enter a monetary judgment of $1.1 million in compensatory damages and $1.265 million in punitive damages for a total damage award of $2.365 million in favor of Sawyer against Erickson. A default judgment will be entered for Sawyer, though for lesser amounts than he requests and without injunctive relief or attorney's fees. Sawyer will be awarded $250,000 in compensatory damages, and $250,000 in punitive damages. That's $500,000, folks. Randy Erickson has now been ordered to pay Craig Sawyer $500,000 for the defamation that she engaged in. On the record presented by Sawyer, these are reasonable awards. Much of the injunctive relief Sawyer requests would be legally inappropriate. To the extent he seeks legally appropriate injunctive relief, it is difficult to see what practical benefit Sawyer might gain from the requested relief in view of the counterclaims allegations. All right, so let's get down to what was actually alleged against Sawyer and why it was damaging to his reputation. I mean, these people are not smart. Randy Erickson, Timothy Holmseth, these are not smart people. These are people who are literally engaging in unlawful defamation over and over and over again, and they think they're never going to get held accountable because no one has the time or the budget to take them to court and keep them there as long as they need to in order to get a judgment like this. But Craig Sawyer did it. Congratulations, Craig. You did it. $500,000. I mean, this is fantastic. And I doubt he'll ever see a penny of it because I don't think that Randy Erickson has two nickels to rub together, but it's still a great judgment. Start with the factual allegations of Sawyer's counterclaim that will be taken as true. Just so you know, in these counterclaims, if you don't respond, I mean, the judge has to take all of his claims as true. Sawyer is an Arizona citizen. He is a veteran of the United States Marine Corps and a former Navy SEAL, having served in the elite SEAL Team 6. Since leaving military service, Mr. Sawyer has maintained a prominent niche in public life relating to his military expertise, including involvement with multiple television broadcasts and documentaries. Mr. Sawyer's success in many of his ventures depends on maintaining a favorable public profile and reputation. In 2017, Mr. Sawyer founded Veterans for Child Rescue, or V4CR, an organization devoted to rescuing victims of child sex abuse. Sawyer subscribes to a Christian worldview, which includes the views that Satanism and satanic pedophilia are gravely evil, and that child sexual abuse is a heinous crime against Almighty God, against humanity, and against the young victims. He has lived his life, raised his family, established his career, and built his reputation both publicly and privately on these values. Mr. Sawyer currently leads a ministry specifically devoted to exposing the evils of satanic pedophilia and or aiding the victims of such crimes. Mr. Sawyer has never met Miss Erickson, never spoke with her, and has no relationship with her. Erickson is a Minnesota citizen. She proclaims to be a sovereign citizen and a member of a task force that gathers actionable intelligence of international crimes with the United States Army Intelligence Support Activity under the name Pentagon Pedophile Task Force. And you guys will remember that I have verified with the Pentagon, there is no such thing. This is a lie. There's no such thing as the Pentagon Pedophile Task Force. And this was the thing that was used to manipulate Cynthia Absug into leaving the state of Colorado, into not going to her court date, into getting her arrested, because they lied to her and told her that they were going to rescue her son with this military group of people. I mean, this lie is so pervasive, and it just continues to harm people and their reputations, and it's just incredible how this cannot be stopped lawfully by police. I mean, this is a crime to impersonate law enforcement, which is what these people are doing, acting under the name Pentagon Pedophile Task Force. At the counterclaims core are a series of allegations concerning statements Erickson had published or republished regarding Sawyer. These are described generally in the counterclaim as follows. Beginning around November 2018, Ms. Erickson, along with cohort Timothy Charles Holmseth, began publishing a multitude of false and defamatory statements against Mr. Sawyer. Ms. Erickson relies on Jessie Marie Sebatar as her source for many of her false and defamatory allegations. Ms. Sebatar claims that she witnessed a murder by Mr. Sawyer, as well as several murders by Hillary Rodham Clinton in Chicago in the early 1980s, which included the raping, torturing, and eating of children during satanic rituals. while Mr. Sawyer watched. Ms. Sebatar named several politicians, celebrities, and other high-profile individuals such as Ronald Reagan, Bill Clinton, Joe Biden, Newt Gingrich, Dick Cheney, Dan Quayle, Mike Pence, John Kerry, Muammar Gaddafi, Amy Coney Barrett, and Elon Musk, to name a few, as being involved in some satanic cult that tortures, rapes, murders, and eats children. Because of the spectacular nature of Ms. Sebatar's claims, her credibility is broadly questioned across the internet and elsewhere. You could say that again. The counterclaim also includes more particularized allegations regarding a specific statement made by Erickson. Ms. Erickson operates 2 websites located on the internet at timothycharlesholmseth.com and rightIntoAction.com, and posts video content on the internet along with Mr. Holmseth at BitChute.com, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Can you believe they allow this crap on YouTube, but my channel gets struck or Joe's channel gets struck? I mean, can we just for a second, can we talk about that for a second? Like, how is it that Tim Holmseth and Randy Erickson can put out clear defamation and they don't get thrown off of YouTube, but we do? I mean, what the hell? I mean, this is just so crazy. Can we all agree to refer to these deluded buffoons as certifiable citizens rather than echoing their sovereign? Yeah, I mean, you guys, it's so nuts. It's just so nuts. I mean, it gets worse and worse and worse. I'm checking locals real quick to see if you guys are in there. Just to say hey to my locals peeps. Thanks for being here, by the way. Thanks for subscribing. You guys are the best. I am going to, and by the way, stay tuned afterwards. After the stream today, I'm going to do a locals only stream because I have forgotten to throw something in the crock pot for dinner, but I still have time. That's the beauty of the freezer meals that we made. I have time to do it now. So, or when we get off the air here. So I will, and you guys on locals will get to come with me to see what I'm going to make today. All right, getting back over to this opinion. Mr. Sawyer alleges that several of Ms. Erickson's postings are defamatory. For example, on April 28, 2021, Mr. Sawyer announced that he would be a speaker at a faith conference in Dallas in May 2021. Afterward, Ms. Erickson contacted event organizers and guests telling them that Craig Sawyer is a human trafficker who raped a child. On May 25th, which is not true, on May 25th, 2021, Ms. Erickson published on the internet at, and here's the link, that Craig Sawyer is an accused Clinton human trafficker who allegedly did that to a child, led a life of crime, committed more interstate wire fraud, is a pedophile, child sex offender, and attempting to kidnap and kill Timothy Charles Holmseth. Ms. Erickson and Mr. Holmseth have a special section on their website dedicated to Mr. Sawyer, located here at this link, which has over 100 postings mentioning Mr. Sawyer with false statements, including but not limited to stating that Mr. Sawyer is a child rapist, a serial killer, contract killer, pedophile, drug trafficker, potential presidential assassin, and that he formed a heavily armed domestic terror group and kidnapping operation that is ripping people off and working with human traffickers as a way to make himself appear to be anti-trafficking. These people are so nuts, you guys. On October 15th, 2021, Erickson posted a video of a recorded phone conversation between Ms. Erickson and Robert Cottle, a preparedness programs administrator for the Texas office of the governor. Beginning at 1:38, Ms. Erickson states that Craig Sawyer is involved with child trafficking and that she has proof of that internationally. Such an allegation is completely false. Beginning at 10:14, Ms. Erickson states that Mr. Sawyer is operating an independent battleground on child trafficking, but he has not rescued one child. This is false, as the V4CR has made 23 arrests with a 100% conviction rate as a result of its joint sting operations with law enforcement. And that is true. I have to clean my glasses. They're dirty. These people just never stop, though. I mean, I'm telling you, until law enforcement gets serious about stopping Tim Holmseth and his, band of criminals, they will not stop. They will just move on to the next person. They've been doing it to Kim Picasio, who's the attorney in Florida. They've done it to so many people, and they will just continue. Hopefully, this lawsuit now will have a chilling effect on him and Erickson and make them stop this, because it is genuinely awful what this man has done to people. and he needs to be stopped. All right, so there's just more of this nonsense allegations, which I just don't need to even read because you've heard enough about them and they're pretty much all the same. Let's get down to the order. So basically, Sawyer makes the argument that all of this has caused irreparable injury to his reputation, profession, trade, and business through the continued false and slanderous publications accusing Mr. Sawyer of engaging in all this terrible stuff. The case's procedural history is somewhat unusual. Yeah, because we're dealing with sovereign citizens. And YouTube is blurring my stream. Really? What does that mean? I wonder if it's your connection or possibly mine. It could be mine because I've obviously been having problems today. What are they blurring me for? Because of what the words I'm using, probably. Whatever. Sawyer moved to dismiss the complaint for improper venue and failure to state a claim on which relief may be granted. One of Sawyer's co-defendants, Robert Hamer, subsequently joined in Sawyer's motion. In March of 2022, Erickson's complaint was dismissed sua sponte for lack of subject matter jurisdiction because she alleged no state claims to invoke diversity jurisdiction and she failed to identify a substantial federal question. And Sawyer and Hamer's motions seeking dismissal on venue and merits grounds were denied as moot. Between January and March of 2022, Erickson filed a series of groundless motions. She also filed several affidavits and many pages of exhibits. This is what sovereign citizens do, by the way. They absolutely frustrate the court. They frustrate the court by filing, useless and meritless affidavit after affidavit after affidavit. This is how they operate. They just exhaust the court. The court eventually has to say, stop filing this crap. And when I've looked at her affidavits, they are insane. They're basically just letters of her just going off about her wild conspiracies about this person, about Craig Sawyer. They're absurd. Though the purpose, Erickson's motions were denied in 3 orders. Though the purpose of Erickson's affidavits and exhibits was not clear, they were allowed simply to occupy the docket. On February 15th of 2022, after he filed his Rule 12 motion, but before the complaint was ordered dismissed, Sawyer filed an answer and counterclaim. Erickson filed no response to Sawyer's counterclaim. She lodged no objection to its filing on any ground, including timeliness. On March 9, 2020, Sawyer moved under Rule 12 to strike Erickson's various affidavits and exhibits and moved under Rule 55A for default judgment. Because these motions were procedurally improper, they were denied. The following week, Sawyer applied for the clerk's entry of default. And this is why, folks, you have to have a lawyer because when all of this procedural stuff will bury you. The following week, Sawyer applied for the clerk's entry of default, and the clerk entered Erickson's default on April 15th. Oh, my birthday. Sawyer originally scheduled a hearing on his default judgment motion for August 1st, 2022. After missing the deadline to file papers in connection with that hearing, the hearing was rescheduled and took place on November 28th, 2022. Let's get to the order because the order part is good. Let's see. Must prove. Under the common law, a plaintiff pursuing a defamation claim must prove that the defendant made a false and defamatory statement about the plaintiff in an unprivileged publication to a third party that harmed the plaintiff's reputation in the community. A statement is defamatory when it tends to injure the plaintiff's reputation and expose the plaintiff to public hatred, contempt, ridicule, or degradation. The common law recognizes privileges, both absolute and qualified, that operate to defeat a defamation claim. Absolute privilege means that immunity is given even for intentionally false statements coupled with malice. All right, then they go over malice and what that definition is. I think we all understand that. And then he's a somewhat public figure, so the bar is higher. But even with the bar being higher, he still wins, which is great. Let's get down to the order part. Blah, blah, blah. The taken as true factual allegations of Sawyer's counterclaim plainly meet the common law defamation claim's basic elements. Statements that Sawyer alleges Erickson made to the effect that Sawyer is a human trafficker, a pedophile, child rapist, and a serial killer. Oh, wait, I just heard from Shawn. Hold on a second. I think Shawn McMillan's going to be in here. Great. Yeah, he's coming. Yay! We had a timing mishap. He thought 11, I thought 1. So, and he's Pacific time, so that I knew that it had to be something like that. So we'll get him in here, and as soon as he's ready, he'll pop in. Great, cool. And we can go a little past 2 today, so in case, so that we have him here for that. That would be great. All right, we'll finish this. The counterclaims allegations give no reason to think that any of Erickson's many statements were privileged. Therefore, no allegation that any of her statements were made in a judicial proceeding as part of a report to law enforcement, blah, blah, blah. And that they have caused significant irreparable injury to his reputation and business interests is established by virtue of Erickson's default. This determination that the counterclaims taken as true allegations constitute a legitimate cause of action for defamation holds if one concludes that Sawyer was required to show actual malice. The counterclaims allegations that Sawyer has maintained a prominent niche in public life and that he founded and leads an organization devoted to rescuing victims of childhood sexual abuse might fairly be understood to make Sawyer at least a limited purpose public figure with respect to the subject of child sexual abuse, the principal subject of Erickson's defamatory statements. So I'm thrilled that he was awarded $500,000 in defamation. He has been fighting against these people for years, and I have watched Craig Sawyer's a decent dude. Like, I've talked to him a couple of times. He's a very decent guy. And what these people did to him is so unforgivable. It says, under Minnesota law, damages available to Sawyer include harm to his reputation and community standing, mental distress, humiliation, embarrassment, physical disability, and any economic loss to the extent these are caused by Erickson's defamatory statements. And the judge decided that, yep, he proved it all, and he got his relief, and I'm thrilled about it. So coming to the program now is attorney Shawn McMillan, my favorite attorney.
That's nice.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm sorry for the mix-up about time zones. I need to get better about being very clear about what time zone I'm in.
Oh, where are you?
I'm in New York.
Oh, shoot. I'm sorry. When I saw the 11 o'clock on my calendar, I assumed it was Pacific time.
It's okay. No worries.
I apologize.
It's totally fine. Before you got here, we were watching some of my favorite timestamps on the, let's see, what's her name? Karen, what's that blonde lady's
Karen
name?
Wagner.
Karen Wagner.
One of my favorites. Oh, my God.
You know what blew my mind was right around the 56-minute mark, she admits that it's standard practice that they don't get warrants ever to take hits.
Well, it depends on which volume you're on, because, she was if I remember correctly, she was a 6-volume depo. I think we took her over 2 or 3 days. And so there's a lot of video there. And what my son's doing on the YouTube channel, this is sort of his project, really, is I told him he can use the content from my cases as long as he, cuts out the confidential information. Just put it up there and we'll talk about it. So when you say the 56-minute mark, I'm not sure of which volume you're talking about.
All right, it is
same stuff all over the place.
It's 1 through 3 combined is what I've been watching, and I'll show you the exact part I'm talking about because my head about blew off my body when I heard her say this. I'm like, you can ask my chat. I'm like, holy crap, you guys! Like, what is happening here? But let me show you this because this is unreal to me. That anyone could, with a straight face, and she tried to pretend like she didn't know what you were talking about, which cracks me up also, because let's see, it's right at 5636, right around here.
Unless you've got evidence to show that child is likely to suffer severe bodily injury or death in the time it would take to.
Let me turn up the volume. I can't hear.
That's what I mean. So what did they teach you in your core training relevant to that concept?
Can you rephrase the question?
That was another thing that just, you know, this woman, it's like every question.
Oh, I know. She made this last forever.
Yeah.
Right. And you're like, I don't know if I can rephrase it. I mean, are you trained to get warrants or not? Like, how, this is not a hard question. And
That's
yet
pretty simple, right?
I mean, you've already told me that in your core training, you learned something about this concept, right?
Yes.
What did you learn?
We don't obtain warrants.
You don't.
There you go.
there it is.
And they specifically.
I mean, really, you don't need to go any further. Like, there it is. We don't obtain.
Well, remember, one of the issues that sort of came to the fore in this case, the Pellerin case in Arizona, and it was through Wagner's depot. I had no understanding that when I got into the case, I had no understanding that, at least according to Arizona, the warrant requirements that had been developed for years, through years of litigation before the Ninth Circuit, the state of Arizona took the position that those just don't apply to us. Well, I mean, Arizona's in the Ninth Circuit, right? So that was I had trouble wrapping my head around that concept, Arizona's concept.
And nobody had challenged that until you came around.
No,
I mean,
no, we were the first one, and Arizona had a response. They had a response. We lost. We filed a motion for a preliminary injunction to force them to adopt a warrant policy that would comport with Ninth Circuit law. The state's answer to that was legislation. They actually wrote a statute requiring their social workers to get warrants before they seize kids. And that was the first time. It went into effect a year after we settled the Pellerin case. But the Pellerin case was the impetus to get that pushed through. And
so this was the case this was the Pellerin case that.
Yeah.
And what was the story here? Because I'm actually not familiar with what actually happened. I just watch your depositions like soap operas, though, Shawn. I watch them. I don't even need to know the story. I just my head explodes every time I see you take one of these people down. I can't even believe what you get them to admit to. But can you give us a little bit of background on what this case was about?
Yeah, just the nutshell of the story is that the father, the family, actually, the father's in the military, family stationed in Japan. There's like this conglomeration of these dependopotamus ladies in Japan that sort of get in a dispute with, my family, and start making all these false accusations to the military in Japan about how my clients are abusing their kids. The military does a full-blown investigation, calls it all as bullshit, which it is, and then restations, the father and of course the family, they all go together back to Arizona at Luke Air Force Base. So they all come back here. Everything's hunky-dory until the mom, my client, the mom, does a post on Facebook, and one of these crazy ladies back in Japan tracks her down, figures out where she's restationed, and they start calling in these reports and to social services in Arizona. So then the whole thing blows up, and that's when Wagner gets involved. I don't know have you watched the deposition yet of Officer Matthew Miller?
No, not yet, but I'm working my way through it.
Yeah, I don't want to be like the spoiler. So
oh no, go ahead. I'll still watch it and I'll still enjoy it.
Okay, what happened is the agency gets a referral. It's a 10-day referral, so it's totally non-emergent, right?
Right.
They have a gradation of priorities. There's like an immediate priority. That's priority 1. That means you get out there within like 2 hours. Then there's a secondary level of priority 2, 3, 4. 4's 10 days. You have 10 days to even start your investigation. You don't even have to necessarily finish your investigation.
So it's absolutely not an emergency if they've given you 10 days to do that.
Yeah, that's
the opposite of an emergency.
Right. So she gets this 10-day referral, and she goes out to the kid's school, doesn't talk to the parents, doesn't make any phone calls, nothing. Actually goes to the school by surprise, doesn't even tell the principal, pulls the kid out of class, the daughter, and interrogates her about, what's going on at home. The daughter's all, nothing. What are you talking about? Why are you here? And daughter comes home from school, tells her mom, hey, this lady's like asking me all these questions. Mom doesn't worry about it. Karen Wagner ends up, the school's very nearby, but it takes her a long time to get to the home to actually talk to the parents. And what really happened here that set the whole thing off is when Karen Wagner showed up, the mom was not, at least in Karen Wagner's view, was not sufficiently deferential. She didn't like prostrate herself on the ground and kowtow and genuflect quickly, and therefore I'm just going to escalate and take your kids. That's in essence what happened.
That is horrible. What county was this in Arizona?
What county was it? This is in Goodyear. Deer Valley. It was Deer Valley PD that. No. It was Goodyear PD. It was Goodyear PD that came out to the scene with Wagner. And that's where we meet Matthew Miller. And, he's got kids of his own. He's a young, really handsome guy. In fact, when he walked into the depot, I just looked at him. He was a defendant at that point. And I said, holy shit, this guy's like walking off a GQ magazine cover.
That sounds like an observation I would have. Hot cops are my specialty. Hot cops and hot NFL players. That's what we got going over here.
Well, he doesn't look as good as I remember him on the video, because I've watched the video now, and he just, he looks, just like a young guy. He's got this straight haircut. But I remember when he walked in, he's about 6'4".
He must have some charisma that doesn't come across on the camera, maybe.
He's just like a wholesome guy. What comes across on the camera, he's like this all-American, wholesome, good guy. He grew up in Wyoming, this like cowboy environment, just a good, solid human being. And Wagner called him out to document the injuries to the children. And all throughout his depots, I asked him, so why were you there? So I was there to document the injury or the lack of injury. Well, what'd you document? Well, it ended up being the lack of injury.
Holy crap.
Yeah, you got to watch this depot. I don't want to ruin it for you, but I really enjoyed him. And we cut him out. I mean, I had made the decision the moment he walked in the front door, and I see the guy. I said, there is no way a jury's going to convict this or go in my favor against this guy. On anything.
He looks like Captain America.
Yeah. Totally. Like, this is a loser. So let me just see what I can use him for as a foil against these idiot bitches that did exactly the wrong thing. And the cop did the right thing. And I've always thought that if he were the one making the call that night, that, the shot caller, none of this would have happened. I wouldn't be involved. We'd all never even hear about it.
But of course, if a police officer, though, is on the scene with a social worker and his job is to document the injuries and he sees no injuries, does he have a responsibility to tell that social worker, like, I'm not doing this? This is, I'm not going to make you look legitimate. This is illegitimate.
I don't really want to spoil for you or your
Oh,
viewer.
no.
But I can tell you from a legal standpoint, I'm not going to tell you what Miller said. He was great, man. It was my intention, if we had ended up trying this case, he was probably going to be my first witness, just so that we could give the jury the ground rules. Okay, these are the rules that the people we trust and train, these are the rules that they follow, that all government agents should follow. And then the jury's just going to be wowed by this guy, and then everything else for the defendants, I think, would have just gone down.
So did you end up settling? Is that what happened?
Yeah, we settled the case. Actually, I think
right after his depot.
No. I think it was after the last cut at Wagner. I think there was like an 11-month gap between our first depot with Wagner and our last depot with Wagner, and in that intervening 11 months is when we deposed everybody else.
Can you disclose the settlement? Do we get to know what that was?
No, you don't. Well, you could probably find it if you dig, long enough and deep enough. But out of respect for the family, the parents, and some of that did go to the children, I prefer not to actually.
Were they, well, let me just ask you this. Was the family happy with the settlement?
Yeah.
Good. They deserve. And now, Useless Intellectual wants to know, has anyone gone to jail as a result of these findings? I don't think so. I think I could answer that as a no.
Everybody always asks that question. Oh, did these people get fired? Did they go to jail?
No, they get promoted usually.
Yeah, and in fact, I can tell you, it's a running joke amongst our little group and our little pond. There's only 5 or 6 attorneys in California anyway that even do this type of work with any regularity. And we all know each other. We all work, together on cases and stuff, help each other out. And we have this running joke that the very best thing that can happen to a government social worker's career, like throughout their career, is for one of us to sue them, because they're going to get a raise and they're going to get promoted. And the reason that happens is because they're all union employees, municipal employee unions. So it's really hard to fire them. So they're not going to get fired. But they're this liability, they're walking liability when you have them out on the line dealing with families and children. So if you're an intelligent employer, like, the government's generally, at the higher levels, they don't want to blow money on litigation. So they say, okay, let's get this walking liability off the street. So they'll promote them. And usually they promote them into a training position. So now like all these other people. It's like, oh my God, you guys are just guaranteeing that I'm going to have a job until I don't want to do this anymore.
It's unbelievable that these people are never trained that parents and children have constitutional rights. That was another part of that deposition that blew my mind, was her saying, you were just asking her, have you ever been trained at all about the constitutional rights that parents and children have? And she was like, long, awkward silence. No. Like what who is doing this,
Well, people have to think. Let me back up a little bit, because this starts to sound political, and it's really not. It is in a sense, but the outfall of politics has consequences. Okay. And when people are at the voting booth and they're casting a vote, and they're usually not casting their vote for the person, they're casting their vote for their team. All right. And if you look historically at all these social services, mechanisms and the schemes, they're all pushed by typically very far left-leaning Democrats. I mean, you look at CAPTA, you look at ASFA, and those are the enabling statutes. That's where all the money's coming from, to steal your kids and put them in bad places, all these horrible things. That's all democratically pushed legislation, and the enhancements are democratically pushed legislation. And these are the people that you're voting into office. You're giving them authority, permission to come in and fuck up your family life.
God, it's so bad.
You got to vote for the person, not the team. And these are questions that you have to ask these elected officials is, okay, where do you stand on this family issue? What's your position? Because I'm going to hold you accountable as a voter, I'm going to hold you accountable if you go in and do something different than what you're telling me now. And I think that if people, took a deeper interest in that sort of approach to casting their vote, as opposed to this team approach, that as a country, actually, across all levels, because what you see in social services is just a symptom of a much broader problem. It's all levels of government experience the same issues we see here. Just the consequences are, they're not stealing kids or whatever. They're, spending money on $1,000 hammers, for example.
Right. Which is just money laundering, which is.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. So people really have to be careful. Your vote is important, and votes have consequences, man. You vote the wrong person or group of people into office, they enact CAPTA. Now the government's in there taking your kids. The federal government is parceling out money per child that's taken.
What does CAPTA stand for again?
I don't remember what it stands for. I just know the
acronym. What does it do?
That's funding. It's a funding mechanism for the juvenile dependency system, essentially. The
Sure. And they're always complaining whenever you catch them doing bad things, like for instance, in Missouri, they lost 1,000 children.
Yeah, how do you do that?
They lost 1,000 kids in the foster care system. And when you catch them, they literally get up in front of the representatives and they say, it's because we're severely underfunded. We don't have enough money. We need more money.
Let me give you an example. You know, that's such a load of crap.
It is a load of crap. They're flush with money. It's not about money.
The County of Los Angeles, we did a case against LA County. It's Duval versus County of Los Angeles. We'll start streaming.
Great case.
At some point. And one of the major discovery issues in that case, and we fought for it, we had to file like 10 motions to compel to get the information out of the county. They knew that it's going to look bad. They didn't want it out there. But they got $2.2 billion in 2009. That's when they first took Rafalina Duval's child. $2.2 billion.
It's not the money.
System. Yeah.
It's definitely not the money. Speaking of Arizona and bad child welfare agents in Arizona, do you remember this?
I remember reading that article. I do.
I reported on this. Arizona child welfare workers caught wearing professional kidnapper T-shirts. Here they are wearing their T-shirts. They say professional kidnappers on them.
That tells you how stupid these people are.
Yeah, they actually think this is funny. This was the Prescott, Arizona Department of Child Safety, DCS, wearing T-shirts that said professional kidnapper on them. On one side, it said, "Do you know where your children are?" This is literally what these people did.
If I remember correctly, though, at least in this one singular instance, these people were fired.
Oh, were they? I
were.
think when I reported this, I think they were investigating, and I was sure that they would not do anything to them.
But they ultimately, at least that's my understanding, and I didn't really follow the article or the case very deeply, and I get really busy, but I have a pretty good relationship with a couple legislators out in Arizona, and just in conversations with them, it's my understanding that those ladies were fired.
God, they should be. I mean, how sick is that? It's absolutely sickening. They think it's funny that they have this type of power, and the power is completely unchecked.
And that's one thing that parents, at the inception of the case have to realize. It doesn't matter if you're guilty or not. That's not the issue. Once one of these workers comes into your life, it's not the issue about whether or not you're guilty. And I don't even know that that's necessarily what you should be fighting in juvie court. But it's an issue of how am I going to get my child back with the least amount of trauma to the child? Because you're not going to be able to fight these people, and the longer they have your kid in the system, the worse it's going to be. Now, that's not to say you can't ultimately fight them, because that's what we do. We don't do juvie work at all. But once the train wreck is over and you've got things resolved, you got the child back, then we come in, we deconstruct the train wreck, figure out where the bodies are, why the bodies are there, how it happened, and then go after the wrongdoers. And granted, the only thing you're going to get out of that process is money. It's not going to fix the problem. It's not going to, put your life back where you were before it happened. It's not going to undo the trauma to you or your kids.
Yeah, but it does punish the system, and that's what I'm in it for. I want to punish them. I want to make it as painful for them as possible. It's so painful that they actually stop doing this, that they start following the law. Because if they followed the law, they would be fine, and everyone would be fine. If you really had exigent circumstances and you really could prove it, well, then you're fine, and you don't have to worry about Shawn McMillan coming in and suing you for $3 million and winning.
Right. Right. It's a simple equation. I'll tell you something. When we get into like a mediation on one of these cases, they'll send, like a county attorney, or sometimes it's like a high level, like the county attorney, and we'll have a conversation. We're there all day. We share a lunchroom, stuff like that. So we get to sit and chat with each other informally. And I always tell them the same thing, you guys. Like LA has paid me probably $20 million. Well,
I know. How much money have you won from LA?
A lot, but and that's
like millions.
Yeah, millions. Donnie Cox, Robert Powell, a couple.
When they see you walking in the courthouse in LA, do they just do they just get, verklempt? Do they start crying when they see you walk in?
No, the attorney for the county in Duval, I came into that case and she already knew who I was from a case I had done down in Orange County a couple years prior. And she saw me, and I'd never met her before. She recognized me. And she says, "What are you doing in this case?" And I didn't know what to say. I said,
I'm
"Well,
here to kick your ass.
no. I'm just going to try the case. Like, what else would I be doing in this case?" That was 5 years before trial. That was the first time I had met her. And then we fought tooth and nail, hammer and tongue, all the way through the 5 years of litigation. And then it was an 8-week jury trial. So it was a big deal. They pulled out all the stops. And, they made us an offer, a $3 million offer, like 2 weeks into trial. And that was hard to say no, actually. You look at that, it's like, well, and that was about.
That's a good offer. They must know they were really screwed in that case.
Yeah, but the problem was, if you wait until I've already run the first 2 laps in a marathon. Remember, I've trained for my entire life to run this marathon. I've been competing. I've been fine-tuning. I've put a lot of effort, sacrificing, doing all the work that you need to do to run this marathon. The marathon is just the end of the journey. If you want a deal, you don't wait till the end of the journey. And that was our conversation. I said, dude, should have done this 2 years ago before I did all the work. Now we're here. Go do your job, man. Do the best you can for your client. We'll see where it goes.
What was that judgment?
That was Duval. It was a $3.1 million unanimous jury verdict, and then we got another $3 million in attorney's fees.
Fantastic. So you got double what they offered.
Basically. Right.
That's fantastic. Look, why aren't more attorneys, Shawn, doing what you do? Because to me, here's what I see. I've been watching you for years, by the way. I've been watching. Oh yeah, I've been watching you for years. I've known about you for a long time, and I've been watching what you. I know Rachel.
Bruno, nice.
Bruno, I know Rachel Bruno very well. That
great people, man. What happened to them was just ridiculous.
Disgusting. And so Rachel was one of your clients. You won her a couple of $1 million. I don't know. That wasn't a public settlement, so I don't know what the exact number was, but it was good. And the hospital took her newborn, claiming that she had injured this baby with a head injury, and they never even talked to or interviewed the night nurse who was on duty when the thing happened. That was the most incredible thing to me. And then ripped her family apart, made her move out of the house. It was a whole thing. Rachel's now written a book about it. I got to have her on sometime soon because Rachel's great.
You should.
I will, because she's one of your clients, and I'm so glad you found her and that you took her case because it was a great one.
I didn't find her. She actually found me. I remember when they came down to talk to me. I don't know. I get really busy, and it's funny because the cases that I do take, they all start the same way, and it's with me rejecting them. And I remember meeting with him here in my office. We had a discussion. I just so not excited to do the work. It's like, oh my God, here's another one. And by another one, that's not pejorative. It's just that the same bad things happen in just about every case. It's like
they didn't have a warrant for this one either. And she I remember in the deposition that you put up, she didn't know what exigent circumstances were either.
No,
they have no clue.
They never do.
They have no clue. What kills me about this though, Shawn, is that, like you're saying, oh, here's another one. There are so many of these cases where constitutional rights have been violated. Why are there so few attorneys taking it to the state and winning all this money? There's a pot of money out there just waiting to be taken by people like you who know the law.
It's not that easy.
I know it's not easy, but it's doable. You've made a career out of it.
See, this is the deal and I've made a career out of it. I made a choice to not do other much more lucrative work. For example, you may spend 2,000 hours of your life that you'll never get back working on a brain injury case that may go to trial and get a $50 million verdict. Or you can spend that same 2,000 hours on a case where a 3-year-old child was taken by CPS, delivered to some hospital, put him up on a table, stripped him down, and examined his anus to see if he'd been sexually abused.
Oh, Jesus.
Which is a $50,000 case. Same amount of time, same amount of effort, same financial investment.
Mm.
So,
God bless you for doing it, though, Shawn, because people need this. They need it so badly. They need to have some sense of justice and some recompensating for what has happened to them in this system. And very, very few people actually get through it and then are able to sue civilly at that point, because they're either too broken by the system itself, or they're too scared to even bring it up again. Now that they have their kids back, it's like they're just going to move out of the state and hope that nothing like this ever happens again. Or they don't have the money, because obviously you're putting in tons of time and hours.
That's another thing that people don't understand. They get, and this is all over social media. It's really, really tough to bite my tongue, because I understand that, when the government takes your child, your whole world falls apart. It literally does make people crazy. Some people recover, some people never do.
Mm-hmm.
But, when they all eventually, I get thousands of calls a month, right? So they all eventually make it here, and they all basically get rejected. And then they're angry. They're angry at me because I'm not maybe validating their situation, or I've rejected, whatever the case may be. They're angry. And then they start spreading this sepsis on their sepsis. And I understand where it comes from on the internet, but you have to understand, we're 3 guys here, three attorneys. That's it. So very small. Every one of these cases, and you raise the point, my clients, they're not, multimillionaires. They can't come in and pay $5,000 a day for those depositions, like that Karen Wagner deposition you're watching. That costs $15,000 to do that deposition.
Mm-hmm.
So, who out there has, and we did like 30 depositions in that case.
Yeah.
So who out there has 150 grand they can just drop down and do these cases? So I have to contribute, obviously. And how many can I handle at any one time? Really? I keep a
See, this is why, Shawn, I have an idea, and maybe it's a bad idea, and you can tell me if it's a bad idea. But I think there's a need in this country, especially, for a legal fund, right, that people would pay into, like HSLDA. Do you know what HSLDA is? It's the Homeschool Legal Defense Aid.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that. Yeah.
So homeschoolers pay into this. They pay like $150 a year. It's probably more by now. When I was in it, it was like $150 a year. And it's basically like insurance for if you get attacked by the state for homeschooling, you have counsel, and they have counsel all over the country. Well, we need a similar fund for parents who want to pay into a system like an insurance system for legal counsel if CPS gets involved in their life. And I was thinking maybe it could be done in a way where, you have people who pay into this, and then with the stipulation that if we take on your case and we represent you with CPS, and if there are violations of constitutional a constitutional matter, then you get to take that on, sue, and get a substantial amount of the winnings back to the attorneys. Because really all parents want is to be protected from CPS. I think they would willingly say, yeah, take 60% of it, take 70% of it, whatever.
I think that's a great idea, first of all, but I don't think the amount of money available to the attorneys is really going to solve the market problem of not having enough attorneys willing to do this work. Because again, I can get involved in an auto accident case where there's a brain injury, and I will spend the same 2,000 hours, but it won't be doing the same things. In one of these cases, you're going to spend those 2,000 hours in high intensity fights with the government. You're going to fight.
You don't think there's enough attorneys out there who feel passionate enough to go after these guys like that to just make it stop? I mean, I don't know.
It's a sad commentary, but I've been doing these. I do these volunteer classes. No, in fact, I lose money on because what happens, I end up paying to get there. I end up paying for accommodations if it's overnight. I pay my food. I pay everything, and I charge nothing to these people for the class. And I call it the nuts and bolts workshop. I'll do these classes to try to get other attorneys comfortable, their knowledge level comfortable enough that they'd be willing to take one of these cases. And I tell them all the same thing. Look, if you come across a case that you think is a good one, we team cases with attorneys all the time who are willing to do it. I mean, I'll consult with you. I'll tell you what to do, share our work product. You know how many takers I get, 50, 70 attorneys at these classes, right? You know how many takers I've had over the last 10 years? Let's do this.
How many?
0.
No.
Well, no, that's not true. That's not true. We had one.
One.
A lady.
That's not enough.
She's a firecracker, man. You guys should talk to her.
What's her name?
It's Rebecca Phillips.
Okay.
She's out in Texas. She works for a guy named Mark Lanier. He's a super famous class action mass tort trial attorney. But she works for him, and they got involved in a case I had been conflicted on. And she came to my class, just absorbed everything, very attentive, and they went in and they kicked Orange County's ass.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
but we need more attorneys willing to do it. And Blurple says, plus it must be soul crushing work. I know I can speak to that because I cover a lot of these cases, and I did it for many years, like exclusively, and it is soul crushing. And I have experienced what Shawn has experienced, which is people get angry with you when you can't take on their case, you can't tell their story. And it's really unfair because I'm one person. My inbox is always full of requests to help people. And there's nothing I can do to help them. This is the thing. And I have to start out from that position to tell them, look, even if I take your case, even if I report your case, nothing I do is going to help you. And in fact, some of it could hurt you. In fact, you could be held in contempt for something that I write. You can be put in jail for something that I write. So because these judges are so incredibly corrupt that they will do things like that. They will put gag orders on. I've had it happen. Gag orders and nonsense.
I'm very, very reluctant. In fact, I'm completely against turning on the court and saying, okay, this is all happening because the court is corrupt. And I don't believe that's true. I think the reason it's all happening is because as a matter of law, the way that our elected leadership has set up the statutory scheme, the judges are not only entitled, but in large part are required to rely on the reports they get from the social workers. They presume, and the law presumes, that the social worker in their report is being truthful, honest, accurate, and complete. So if we have that assumption, I'm the judge, see this parade of horribles in the report, but it's all lies, I still have to rely on that report. So I'm stuck in a quandary. I may feel like, oh my God, could this really happen? But at my preliminary hearing, at my detention hearing, there's no evidence coming in. It's just the report. What am I supposed to do? If I cut this kid loose,
that's the part that's so bad.
It's on me.
But that's the part that's so bad, though. Why is it that at these preliminary hearings, nothing is allowed in except the report? Why are the parents not allowed to say, hey, wait a minute, that report is bullshit. Here's what actually happened. That's what happened to Cynthia Absug when her child was taken from her. She wasn't even allowed to speak on her own behalf. She wasn't allowed to tell the judge, this is not right. Call the doctors. Call his doctors.
That's a legislative issue. You're not going to fix that by getting out, doing the Facebook warrior thing and all that. The way you're going to fix that is getting politically active, getting the idiots that wrote the statute to fix it. It's a lot of work, but you're not going to get a solution to that problem through litigation.
God, it's just awful. It's just awful.
So I can tell you, and we go through this as, on my YouTube channel, we do, we play, because you've been watching, we'll play the videos. Then on Sundays, we'll do like question answer, right? So this question has actually been answered before, probably more than once in the question and answer sessions. But the way we structure our complaints is we assume the judge did the correct thing based on the information he was provided by the government. Okay, so if you start with that assumption, it makes your approach and attack a whole lot simpler, because now who gave him the information? That's your target, right?
Right.
If we assume he did the correct thing based on the information provided, you go after who gave him the information. And that simplifies everything, because now you have a lying social worker or some social worker who's angry, like Karen Wagner. She's a great example, and just goes off the rails. Luckily, in this case, the Pellerin case, and you'll find this out as you watch more of the videos on the YouTube channel, the Karen Wagner, she tells us, man, and the judge told her, he made a finding, hey, look, I know what happened here. You went out to the home. She didn't kowtow to you. So you made a target on this family's back. And he actually ordered Wagner to cut the kids loose to the parents immediately. And she refused to do it.
Wow. What? How can you refuse a judge's order? What does she mean she refused?
Yeah.
What?
And she got permission. She got permission from her boss. We actually had the emails going up to her boss, and then her boss going up to her boss, and everybody saying, yeah, you know what? Don't do it.
What? So what happened to her? Was she held in contempt?
No, they ended up reaching some resolution. I think they appealed it.
See, this is the thing. What if you're the parent in that case, and the judge orders you to do something, and the parent says, no, I'm not going to do it? Well, what would happen to the parent? There'd be a warrant out for your arrest. You'd be put in jail. How does Karen, social worker, get away with disobeying a judge without being thrown in jail?
It's the government, man.
Fuck, I hate these people so much. Why do they treat each other differently than they would treat a citizen? And one of our people in the chat,
it's because you're not part of the club.
Yeah, we're not part of the club. How can you say it's not corrupt when you would be thrown in jail, but Karen doesn't get thrown in jail? I mean, look, Das Ogre says, Sean, gee, that sounds suspiciously like a due process violation, assuming the government is right and the citizen is wrong.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree. I wouldn't disagree, but what are you going to do about it? And that's the question that every bully asks. Okay, fine. You don't like what I did? What are you going to do about it? Nothing. What can you do about it? You're going to go vote for the same idiots that passed the legislation to begin with.
I feel like the legislation, I feel like...
How long has she been around? And people keep voting for her. She's the one that did this.
She is the one who did this. 1997, the Adoption and Safe Families Act of 1997. It was her pet project, and she made this all possible for social workers to have this extreme amount of power over your life. And now we're hearing from certain counties who are, doing budget cuts and whatever. They're not even requiring a high school education from these people anymore. They just have to have a GED. I mean, it's just insane. They keep lowering the expectation, lowering the standard. And is that what we really need? We need lowered standards for social workers? Frankly,
definitely not.
Definitely not. Yeah. I mean, you've seen enough of them, right? To show you.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous what we're given.
What are you working on now? Do you have any cases going currently?
I have a ton of cases going currently. In fact, that's going to be a problem for our discussion here in a few minutes. I have 4 heavy oppositions to motions to dismiss that are due on Wednesday. And then I've got another set that are due next week on Friday. So yeah, we're always busy, which is one of the problems. I think you touched on this earlier, is in relation to people getting angry when we can't take their case. We have a hard limit of 16 cases for 3 attorneys, which if you go to maybe a personal injury law firm, might have 200 cases per attorney. And that sounds like a lot, but they're simple so they can handle it. 16 cases, that should tell you something about how difficult these cases are to work, how complex they are to, get over the immunities and all the various hurdles that we're going to deal with. And also the expense, if every case I'm going to have to sink $200,000 into it to get it past a summary judgment, I can't do very many of those before I'm bankrupt. So, people just have to understand that's one of the problems. And so to answer your question, yeah, I've got a bunch of cases that are just really heavy on me right now. Bunch
Yeah,
of
I
decades. I've had a bunch. I know people don't want to hear this. You just lost your kid into a system. They're in foster care, or group home somewhere. It's a very dangerous place to be. I would say right now, 2/3 of my cases, I'm representing either current foster kids or past foster kids or the parents, I guess, of foster kids because the kids are dead.
Oh,
But,
God.
or past foster kids where they're raped, molested, beaten, killed, just this whole list of horrible things that happened in the government foster care and group home system. It's a horrible place to be. The government's really good at snatching your kids, but they're not good at all about taking care of your kids once they have them. And there's an alarming number of really, really horrible cases where the children were just really abused and killed, raped. I mean,
In Missouri, those 1,000 kids they lost, they recovered most of them in sex trafficking. The U.S. Marshals recovered them from sex trafficking organizations.
Sure.
In situations. And I've been reporting on foster care and the link to sex trafficking for years, which is why it really pissed me off in the middle of Cindy Absug's trial when the prosecution looked at the jury with a straight face and said, there's no connection between foster care and sex trafficking. And
most of their product comes from foster care.
I know. And the defense attorney just let him do that. The defense attorney never said to the jury, let me show you 8 articles from CBS, from ABC, from NBC. Let me show you all these articles from the U.S. Marshals where they're recovering kids from foster care in sex trafficking. He never did that. Although I gave him all of that information, he never did that. He allowed a jury to believe that Cynthia Absug was somehow out of her mind crazy because she told people that kids in foster care get sex trafficked.
Yeah.
What happened in that trial is so gross and so illegal and wrong, and yet Cindy went to jail. So, I don't know.
Well, that's, you can play that same scenario out and change the name 1,000 times. It happens all over the country.
It's awful. And I'm just so glad that you're out there doing this and that someone is doing it, because there's just not enough lawyers doing what you're doing. And I hoped very much that your classes were going to take off and inspire people. And it pisses me off to hear that you only got one.
Well, but she did a bang up job, man. She just really fucked them up.
That's great. It's great. I would love to hear her that story about that.
You should call her. You should call her Rebecca Phillips. Her name's Rebecca Phillips. And
I will.
She is a smart lady, hard worker, and just battered the hell out of them.
I will. I'm going to call her because I want to hear about this Orange County.
It actually ended up with a published decision in California. It's called Casey N. versus County of Orange. The decision just came out of the 4th DCA, I want to say 2 weeks ago. And the appellate court really, really lambasted Orange County, because this isn't the first time they've been popped by a jury for lying about people. And the appellate court keeps track of those things. And they talked about it quite a bit in their opinion. And they said, essentially, we don't ever want to see this again.
Man, I'll tell you what. That just, it makes me happy that at least one person took you up on it. But lawyers out there, if you're out there listening, this is a portion of the law that really needs extra attention, because we can't allow counties and states to get away with this type of violation of constitutional rights. Somebody in the chat asked if my sister would take on a case like that. My sister is an attorney. She would definitely take on a case like that, but it's the same old problem, which is getting paid. She doesn't have $100,000 to drop into it to wait, to get a payback. A lot of attorneys don't. A lot of attorneys are.
By the way, I mean the longest one. In fact, I was going to say the longest one I had was 10 years, but that's actually not true. On one of my cases, I met the family when the child was 11 months old. And he just graduated from high school, and we settled his case, his last case, 4 cases came out of that. We settled his last case, I don't know, 3-4 months before he graduated. So we were with that
That's
family
insane.
for this kid's whole life, basically.
That's insane.
But you get to know each other really well. I mean, they're family friends now, and
Yeah.
visit and stuff, and that's
God bless you, Shawn. You must have a real calling to continue doing it, and I'm so grateful for you. When I heard you were running for judge, I don't know, a couple years ago, and I was like, "Don't do it, please, don't do it."
That wasn't very serious. The only reason I did that was because the retiring judge is a political thing. The retiring judge had picked this woke ass public prosecutor to take his spot, and the word went out to the cabal downtown. Nobody run for this position. It's her position.
Oh, it's her turn. I know those types.
And I had a family friend, that worked in the prosecutor's office, and she was upset by this. She's a constitutionalist through and through, and she was upset by this. We fought a war over royalty, those sorts of things, and I thought we won, but she kept hitting on me. You got to do this. Oh, well, fuck, why don't you do it? So it'll ruin my career. This is a political office. I'm gone if I do something like that. I'll be shoved off in a corner somewhere. So I can't say, well, I'll find somebody else. I've got my own stuff going on. So like I told you that we're family friends, right? So she starts harping on my wife. And the last day to sign up, you had to have there's like a $2,700 check-in for your nomination, I think by 3:30 p.m. or something on a Tuesday. It's like 1:30, my wife's like tromping down the stairs, boom, 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 opens my door, says, "Here's a check. You got to get over there right now." I was all, what the fuck? What are you talking about? And so, yeah, that ended up, I got into that thing, and I didn't even do anything, right? I just sat there and I said, okay, look, my name's on the ballot. Fine. Just doing my work. And then this crazy woman starts like publicly, putting stuff out on YouTube, advertising, talking about how horrible of a person I am. So, whoa, lady, what the hell? Where's this coming from? So then like maybe 2 or 3 weeks before the actual election is when I found out about all this. I said, oh, okay, well, fuck, man. You want to fight? Fine. And we started digging up all kinds of dirt on her, all kinds like some interoffice sexual scandal, and when she was married, ended up marrying this other guy, and then all this money from all these different places that were kind of weird. Like she had one donor who paid $25,000 into her campaign, and it just so happened that donor was a big landowner involved in litigation with like the building or something, and so we made a big deal about that. Obviously, it wasn't enough. I only got like 95,000 votes, but that was in 3 weeks. What
so pretty good.
Yeah, what would have happened if I had started campaigning 6 months ago? Right?
Yeah.
Either way,
I'm glad you didn't win. Because families need you. That's good. Everybody should have to fight for their job when they're talking about an election. They should never go unopposed. That's terrible. That happened in Texas with that awful Mary Brown, I think her name is. She was the judge. She was running unopposed, which is why Alex Stein jumped into that race, and he's just a troll. A troll. But he jumped in anyway.
A troll.
Because nobody should run unopposed. It's ridiculous, and they need the Republican Party, if they're not paying attention, they need to. Don't let people like that run unopposed.
Yeah. Well, that's I'm very disappointed in the Republican Party.
You and me both.
Like I said, a lot of the problems that we're seeing in CPS, they stem, even though it's not necessarily a political question, because we all recognize there are kids out there that need help that are not going to get it other than government involvement. So it's not really a political question. It shouldn't be anyway. But it just so happens that the far left are the people that are pushing this stuff. It takes a village to raise a child, right? That's like a progressive liberal mantra.
Mm-hmm.
That's sort of the impetus behind CAPTA and ASFA and all these other funding mechanisms to go out and steal kids. But then you look at the Republican side of the aisle; they don't have their shit together.
Nope.
And they can't get it together because they're all pulling different directions, worried about different crap. While Rome is burning,
Oh yeah, Rome is burning, and Ronna McDaniel is spending $100,000 of donor money on her hair and nails. She's getting Lululemon leggings with donor money, spending $17.1 million on donor gifts that are like these stupid looking pins. That's Rome is burning, and this is what Republican leadership is doing, and they voted her in again. So she is now the head of the RNC again. Ronna McDaniel. I've been calling her Imelda Marcos. She's like the reincarnation of Imelda Marcos. I'd like to see how many shoes she has in her closet and who paid for those. It doesn't sound like she's very good with, her fiscal responsibilities. She's really good at raising money and stuff. But what she's spending it on is not winning elections. It is just incredible to me. The Republican Party is trash. It's a joke.
It's actually really sad. If they could just get their shit together, get organized, set the minor differences that are fracturing the party, set those aside and focus on the things that really matter. I mean, we all want the same things, Republicans and Democrats. I want a good education system where my kids can actually learn meaningful, valuable stuff like reading.
Reading. How about reading? Not how to be a drag queen?
Yeah.
You don't think that's important, Shawn? What are you, a bigot?
I'm not a bigot. I whatever you do in your own life, as long as it doesn't impact me, I don't really care. You want to go.
What are they doing with these kids? Like, seriously, teach them to read, please. Teach them to do math.
As a taxpayer, that's what we're paying for. That's what we're paying for. I want my kids, if I'm going to pay money, I want my kids to be able to come out reading, writing, critical thinking, basic math, maybe some biology, the real STEM stuff that matters, hard sciences. Basket weaving, that doesn't do me a whole hell of a lot of good. It doesn't do society a whole lot of good.
Lesbian feminist dance class didn't do much for you.
That might be okay. I mean, I took some drama classes and I took some dance classes in college, and I'll tell you the reason I did it is it was very non-competitive. All the hot chicks were there, and all the guys there were gay. So
See, this is a guy who knows how to get dates. Clearly, we were talking about this earlier today. What you have to do, you have to go where the women are, or if you're a woman, you go where the men are. You just that's what you do. Right. See,
you figure it out.
Figure it out.
It was great, man. I made friends with a lot of the guys there, and it was not an impediment. Their sexual preferences, and I've never seen it that way. It was not an impediment to me having a human relationship with them. That's fine. I have friends and they're gay, and that's cool. I'm not interested, but they probably have a lot of really good looking women that are also their friends.
It's true. All right, guys. So what we've got from this conversation is make some friends with the gay dudes in your local area, because they've got women friends that they're not interested in that they could hook you up with. See, there's all kinds of ways to meet people. All kinds of ways.
There's more than one way to skin a cat, right?
So when's your next live stream where you're going to be breaking down these depositions that people can tune in for?
That's my son's project, and it's sort of funny the way we got into this whole thing. He has zero interest in law, right? He doesn't want to have anything to do with it. And, but he does want to, get a YouTube channel going and, get advertising revenue. And he wants to be an influencer, right? I said, well, dude, I got all this content. Go through the content and just start posting it. But a lot of the content has confidential information in it. So you're going to have to watch every one of those videos and cut out the confidential information because we can't publish that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay. So the first one he did, there wasn't too much confidential information, so it was fairly easy. He got sucked into it, and then he ended up getting 1,800 subscribers. A lot of people watching this stuff right away. And he's like, wow, got all excited. So then he got into Wagner. I remember the first one he did, he comes down, he's screaming at me. What happened? He's all, God damn it. Every 10 minutes you say the kids' names 20 times. But through that process, because he has to listen pretty carefully, he's learned a lot. He's learned about the law. He's learned about how to question, interrogate people. He's learned how to make objections or actually not make objections, because we talk about it afterwards. Oh, well, what about this objection? Yeah, it was a stupid objection. This is why. So he's learning a lot. And now he's talking about how maybe he is interested.
Oh, good. We need another Shawn McMillan part 2.0. I think that's fantastic. I actually thought he must have been a law student when I was watching some of his stuff. So that's interesting. I hope he does get interested in it, because
every one of these things, he learned something, and he's getting more interested. But that was the impetus behind the YouTube channel. It was really not my gig. I've got so much work, it's crazy. And that's just really a distraction from our focus. But luckily it's at night, so it's end of the day. It doesn't take a huge amount of cognitive energy. So I'm willing to do it and help him out. But it's really his gig. But he does it this is commitment, man. He does it every night at 6:30.
Oh, wow. Fantastic.
There's going to be something every night at 6:30. And I can't always be there to, answer questions or whatever, because I got a lot going on. But he does have something every night at 6:30. And then Sundays 6:30, we do like an hour question answer. So people develop questions as they're watching the videos. They can email them in. It's like capsandstemslaw@gmail.com. That's his email address. And then we'll try, as long as they're not case specific, like looking for legal advice type questions.
Mm-hmm.
As long as they're not that, then we'll go ahead and address them at the Sunday, live.
Well, there is a lot of money to be made doing live streaming. It's especially with legal stuff. I mean, if you've been familiar at all with the so-called LawTube, and there lots of those channels are just got really big. And I think that there is a definite hole for CPS related legal questions, etc., because there's just not a lot of lawyers doing it. So I've been enjoying those streams a lot myself.
I'll let him know that you've been watching him. He always likes to, hear about people watching his stuff. He puts a lot of energy into it.
Is this on a different channel than yours, or is it the same one?
My channel, yeah.
Yeah, it's Shawn's channel, Cavatino. So it's just Shawn McMillan on YouTube, and it's SHAWN. I think we have the link in here somewhere. There it is. YouTube at Shawn McMillan is where you'll find that. And what I love about it is that I already watch your depositions anyway, like soap operas. It's like my favorite thing to do. My biggest complaint is that there aren't enough new ones, but now there are some I haven't seen because you guys have been doing this. And so I'm all excited to get caught up on that last one with Karen and her and Captain America, the officer. I can't wait to catch up on his.
The reason I originally started doing it was because I think it was in the Duval, might have been Ferguson. I don't remember which were the first depots to be posted, but I was so angry at these workers, and most of them were Orange County and LA, and I was so angry that the counties would not implement policies, training, anything to address the issues that I keep litigating. So I thought, you know what? If I catch one of these workers, I'm just going to forever expose them to public shame, humiliation for their deeds.
They deserve it.
And there's no better way to do it than put their face in their video on YouTube, because it's there forever, and people pass it around or whatever. And somebody in LA, say they run across Tika Smith.
Oh, Tika Smith.
They know who she is, right?
Yes. Also, Charles Sophie.
Yeah.
What a great catch that was, that you got Charles Sophie, who's Dr. Phil's favorite psychologist.
We're going to put his whole transcript up. We're going to put his whole video up. I think right now there's only the part that we played to the jury. And
that Munchausen syndrome by proxy scam is such a bad scam, and you really exposed that by asking him a very simple question, which is, this is a very difficult thing to diagnose. So how is it that you diagnose all these people? You just show him just signing off on stuff, like not doing any work to diagnose this person, just on information and belief. Yeah, upon information, just covering my ass.
Freaking ridiculous.
Terrible. But this is what they do. I don't know do you know who John Esper Wright is? Does that Dr. Wright? So he's a guy who started a lot of this crap with the Munchausen syndrome by proxy. He's a physician, a child abuse pediatrician from Florida, Broward County, and he goes around to state after state after state doing these little talks on Munchausen syndrome by proxy to other doctors to teach them how to diagnose. And you would go nuts if you watch this guy. I went through it on my channel when we played I played Dr. Sophie's deposition with you, and we went through Dr. Wright's little training session that he does. You just wouldn't believe it. It's so subjective. He just basically is, if I feel that this woman is Munchausen, she is. And it's always women, which is the other thing. It's like, how come it's always women? Are you telling me that women are prone to a syndrome that men never get? What is this?
It's because it's usually the moms who are taking care of, the kids' medical needs. It's the moms that are taking care of and spend most of the time nursing the baby or, that sort of thing. In the Duvall case, mom was, nursing. She had, the child was failure to thrive, and she had problems.
I had a baby with failure to thrive.
But she was on
it
top of
happens.
And the mom was on top of it. She's going to the doctor. She's got a nutritionist.
But according to Dr. Wright, that's actually evidence that she has Munchausen. If she's on top of it and going to all these different specialists, that's evidence that she has Munchausen syndrome by proxy. Can you believe this? So if you're a good mother, that's how Cindy Absa got it attacked on that. Although they never tried to prove it in court, they called it medical neglect. Or instead of or medical abuse. Sorry, they call it medical abuse instead of Munchausen because they know darn well she doesn't have Munchausen. So how do you explain these things? So if you go to the doctor too much, you are Munchausen. If you don't go enough, you're neglectful. I mean, you can't win. You can't win. I know that you have to go. I know that you've been hanging out here for a while. So
I'm sorry I blew it on the 11 o'clock thing.
No, it's okay. It's fine. It's perfectly fine.
Time.
Perfectly fine. I would love to have you back sometime.
Sure.
Maybe I'll finish.
Plan it out better, sweet.
Yeah.
Next time I know you're on the East Coast, so.
Yes. I'm sorry. It's my fault. But just you guys go to Shawn's YouTube page. Make sure you subscribe today and so you get those notifications when they go live. Because watching these depositions with Shawn is a whole lot of fun. It's even more fun than watching them, by yourself, which is also fun for me because I'm a law nerd.
Bring popcorn because I typically will bring some snacks. On some of them, my son was bringing me dinner. I sit there and eat.
No, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. Thanks so much for being here.
I really appreciate it. Thanks for having me. And, I hope all your viewers, get something of value, at least from what we're talking about here and the stuff on the channel if they go there. I think there is valuable information. It just depends where they are in the process,
No, absolutely. Thanks so much for being here, Shawn. We'll talk to you again soon.
Sounds good. Thanks a lot for having me.
All right. See you later. All right, everybody. So that was Shawn McMillan. Make sure you go check out his YouTube page because he's got fantastic content over there. The depositions that he does are terrific. So Leah Gio, she's having an allergic reaction, and I'm real upset about that. I'm sorry to hear that, Leah. I hope you get better real soon, and hopefully it's not anything very severe, and that we'll all be praying for you that you get better soon. So she had to skip out and get some medical attention. So let's get that. I know it's no good. But hopefully I think she might be still back there. But getting some medical help would be a good idea. And Leah's on her way to the ER. So she's just prayers for Leah because we don't want anything bad happening to her. She's been such a help. And get better, Leah. Get better soon. Oh, she's got some bad reactions to some medicine. I know I have also. That happens to me sometimes too. So let's just hope that gets taken care of. Australia is a dangerous place. Sheesh. Yes, we've talked about that before. Australia is always trying to kill you. But I think hopefully that the situation is not that dire, and Leo will be fully recovered and back with us tomorrow. Hopefully, we will be here for True Crime Tuesday, and True Crime Tuesday is going to tomorrow. We're going to have. Hold on a second. I've got. I need to tell you what's going on tomorrow, don't I? The kids' YouTube channel on Rumble, you guys are asking for his kids' YouTube channel. It's the same as his. It's Shawn McMillan. At Shawn McMillan on YouTube, and that's ShawnMcMillan. They share a channel, so the kid is on his channel doing all the good things there for him. And I got to get over to my show notes so I can tell you what's coming up tomorrow, because there is True Crime Tuesday. We have updates for you in a couple of different stories. I got a new story, a new murder in Missouri that's pretty interesting, where I have done some groundwork on. And there is a murder in Missouri we're going to be talking about. It's the murder of Samuel Michael Clemens, a student at Mizzou. It's another university murder. And this time it is a female who has been arrested for that crime. And something that's really been bothering me lately is that there's been this narrative on Twitter or whatever that it's always men. You know, we were talking about the Anna Walsh case, and it's always the husband. No, it's not always the husband. Sometimes women kill too, and I think maybe we should highlight some of those, since this false narrative is being pushed online about how, and it's almost like going along with the Me Too narrative, where, you know, women are so oppressed and, oh, we're the victims of crime all the time. Well, that's not always the case. And so this new case in Missouri we're going to be talking about tomorrow. Also, we will be talking about the Paul Pelosi footage, body cam footage that came out last week, and talking about that case and David DePape and what's happening there. And we will also be talking about, at 11 o'clock tomorrow, I have Mia Cathell coming on from Town Hall to talk about the gay suburban pedophile ring that she exposed in a 4-part series on townhall.com. Some of you might know this case because I know Nick has been covering it, but we have not covered it here. Hopefully I won't be shut down on YouTube for talking about it, but if we are, we will always be on Rumble. So I'll be there. We'll be on Rumble. So if YouTube shuts us down, just head over to Rumble and we will be there as well. All right, everybody. So we're late. I'm late today. I've gone over my time, and I'm going to call it a day. Thanks for being here. And I'm sorry that we got such a late start, and also I don't know. I had problems getting it together today. I just did. Because, why does this always happen? Hold on a second. Because, when you're late, everything is harder to get done. But I had to go get my neck fixed because, seriously, my neck has just been awful. And I'm feeling much better now. I'm feeling much better, actually. So I'm not sitting here in pain, which is incredible. So thank you to Dr. Scott. I appreciate you, Dr. Scott, for getting it done, for whatever it was that he did. Jumping on me like that really helped. Whenever I felt it go, when you feel the right spot pop and it's like relief. Incredible. Just incredible that chiropractic can help. Sometimes it can, sometimes it can't. But today it helped me. So thank God, because I have been in pain for days and days and days, and I can't take it anymore. I can't take it. Ellie says, I hope your case of the Mondays is fading away. Well, I feel like I let you down a bit because I was so unprepared for today. I didn't have a lot of time to prepare because of I had guests staying in my house during my vacation time. And so I was just really, really, consumed with all of that, with entertaining, etc. And, I just didn't have a whole lot of time to get to it. And then I was in pain most of the weekend and lying flat trying to get work done, which is next to impossible. So make sure that you check us out on pjmedia.com. Make sure that you bookmark my page there, because I do write on pjmedia.com almost every day. And if you're looking for my columns to click on, that's where you will find them. And we will see you again tomorrow for True Crime Tuesday. And I can't wait for that. So I will see you then. Everybody take care. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. And if you are on Locals, follow me on meganfox.locals.com. And you and I will, I'll be back with you right after the stream. I'm going to go downstairs and set up for a live stream. And I'll show you what I'm going to be making for dinner. I still haven't even decided, but I'm going to do that. And maybe we'll go see the chickens because they need to be, I need to go see if I got any more eggs. So we might do a chicken stream right after and also a dinner stream. So meganfox.locals.com, and I'll be there. I'll see you there in a minute.
I was lost, my world is near its end. I almost felt my head is full of a million choices. I am alive, I'm not here to pretend. I love my friends, my heart is filled with a million voices. Oh, this road has many choices. Oh, in my heart, a million voices. Come next to me, my friend, embrace the sky. I'm not afraid to fly. It's not the time to say goodbye. I don't wanna say goodbye. No, I don't wanna say. No, I don't wanna say goodbye. No, I don't wanna say goodbye. This time I know my road is near its end. I almost felt my head is full of a million choices. I am alive, I'm not here to pretend. I love my friends, my heart is filled with a million voices. Oh, this road has many choices. In my heart, a million voices. Come next to me, my friend, embrace the sky. I'm not afraid to fly. It's not the time to say goodbye. I don't wanna say goodbye. No, I don't wanna say. No, I don't wanna say goodbye.
So thanks. Thanks for
Thank you. Cheers.
So I take it that you've
Johnny's
seen
problem is he
Tamara
should
and
have come
Johnny's bedroom
storming
before.
in there with
Yes.
a string of
Do you
garlic
recall what
and
we
some
went
holy
into
water.
Mr. Judson's
Across
first
the crucifix
bedroom?
one.
May the
Do you
power of
recall, or
Christ
no, you
compel you.
No, I don't.
You realized his house was infested with
Just up for
succubuses.
that,
And
there's a picture here with you of what it, yes. Do you
Suck
recall
you
whether it was there
loaders.
when you arrived in the afternoon? I don't remember seeing it now. So while she
No wonder he said drown her before you burn her.
oh my god.
You-
Your next witness?
Now I know
Witness
why
for
you wanted to
known
drown
as
her.
Glacis,
Your
and that
next
is
witness
also
lives in
by
Romania.
video.
Is that correct?
That begins with Miss Fast.